All right, everyone, we're going to begin this. Okay, hi. Town of Abington Planning Board, agenda, Abington Planning Board, April 6, 2026, 6 PM, Abington Town Hall. I'm Bruce Hughes, the chair. 6 PM, we're going to call this to order, call the meeting to order. I guess first thing we're going to talk about is the minutes of the March 2nd, 2026 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look at them?
Yep.
Yep.
Any edits, comments?
Had none.
Motion to approve.
You all set, Rick?
Second.
Okay, so motion's been made, seconded. All those in favor? Approving?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Correspondence, none. I guess we have time to look at the ZBA agenda for April 9th. Everybody had a chance to look at that. It's, continue hearing 190 Washington Realty. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, 1 second.
One 190 Washington Street will be here at some point.
Is 190 Washington Street going to be for us, Liz?
I think they have to come for you for site plan review. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was discussed.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do they have to do to convert an existing in-law into an ADU? Is there some, just need to get it
I
signed
think
off?
they're just going to the zoning board.
All right,
Yep. If it's attached
yeah.
or an existing structure, a detached existing structure, they don't come here.
Say that again?
If it's attached or a detached existing structure
Okay.
that they're not adding anything to,
Okay.
I believe.
And are you required to keep track of all the ADUs we know?
I am not.
Okay.
But we are as a community.
Okay. How are we doing that?
That would be out of the building department because they're the one issuing the permits.
All right, so there's a special ADU permit that,
That would be,
okay.
that would be up to how they're managing it down there.
Okay.
I don't know.
So does everyone who had an existing in-law or ADU, do they have to convert it now into an official ADU?
They do not have to, but they can't rent it unless it is.
Okay.
So if you have an in-law and you don't convert it to an ADU, this is my impression anyway. Let me back this up. This is what I understand, because actually we just walked through this exercise. That's what I understand, because somebody went to the assessor's office to understand what the tax implication would be, difference between an in-law and like a two-family or an in-law, an attached in-law or an ADU. And that is out of my wheelhouse, so. But I believe in order for you to be able to rent it, it has to be a legitimate ADU.
But those
Because
are-
I think there's building code stuff that has to happen if
Yeah.
it becomes a rental property.
So, but those are all different definitions?
A two-family, an in-law,
In an ADU?
Not technically an ADU attached as a two-family.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
I guess that's why I'm curious.
And I guess it's who you're talking to, because I'm sure the building department has a different definition than the assessor's office has for a definition.
So if we were looking for a list of them, you'd go to the building
I
department.
would ask the building department to define it for you, depending on what you want, because it's their call.
Only issue is fire separation. It's attached,
Right.
because the in-law didn't need it. An ADU.
Okay. Anything else?
So there's got to be some advantage.
Yep.
Well, there's got to be some advantage to doing that conversion.
Yeah, because then you can
Otherwise,
rent
somebody
it.
wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the disadvantage is you would probably have to put money into making it an ADU that's rentable according to state code.
and the ADUs are by right.
Yes.
Yes,
So is the conversion by right?
I would think so.
It is if you, yeah, but you would have to make it to code, I believe.
Yeah, because our in-law bylaw isn't over 900 square feet.
No.
They went to the zoning board.
Right, so again, if your in-law is 1,200 square feet, it can't be an ADU because it's over the 900 square feet.
Right, unless they went to
You
the
can't
zoning-
flip it.
Zoning board. Unless they went to the zoning board.
True, yeah, they can do that.
But I think most in-laws aren't that big. Our bylaw was less than, I think it was 800.
Okay. All right, anything else? Being 6:05, let's go into limited site plan review application for an ADU at 65 Block Street. And, let's see. Okay, this is, the Abington hearing notice. The Abington Planning Board will hold a hearing at Abington Town Hall, 500 Glenowitz Way, on Monday, April 6, 2026, at 6:05 PM to review a limited site plan review application to construct a 900 square foot attached protected use accessory dwelling unit, ADU, on a plan entitled Site Plan for Proposed ADU 65 Block Street, Abington, Mass., prepared for Nicole White, 65 Block Street, Abington, Mass., 2351, by Grady Consulting LLC, 71 Evergreen Street, Suite 1, Kingston, Mass. Plan is dated February 6, 2026. The review is pursuant to Abington zoning bylaw 175-32I. The property is owned by the applicant. The property is located on Assessor's Map 22, Lot 64. The hearing will be held at Abington Town Hall, 500 Glenowitz Way. The application can be reviewed at the town clerk or planning office, Abington Town Hall, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30 PM, Friday, 8:30 AM to 12:15 PM. Bruce Hughes, Chairman, March 23rd, March 30th. So, Ms. Shea.
Okay, you have before you the application for, this is our first limited site plan review for 65 Block Street. I believe the applicants,
Good evening, Kevin Grady from Grady Consulting, representing the applicant for the limited site plan approval.
Could you turn it a little bit so the folks in the audience can see it too, please? Thank you. Thank you. That's good. Yeah.
Sure. So this is my first review. I think I did that in Duxbury, Hanson, maybe Plymouth as well. But so we'll be seeing more ADUs, I think, now that it's allowed by state regs. So again, Kevin Grady from Grady Consulting. I'm here with Doug Ulwick, who prepared the architectural plans. As you can see on the site plan, we're proposing a 18 by 50 ADU. You can see that in the brown rectangle there. The existing lot of record is over 10,000 square feet, which makes it comply with the state regs for the by right ADU. The architectural plan proposes a 900 square foot ADU, which is the maximum size allowed under the state law. As far as site layout goes, the existing site contains 4 parking spaces currently, and we're proposing to retain those across the front here. The applicant is proposing to put in a accessible ramp to gain entry to the front of the building. They're proposing a access stairway and small landing on the left side, and then there's a connection deck between the buildings. The applicant's proposing to connect to town water and town sewer. You can see in the rear here, we do have a wetland resource area. We did meet with the Conservation Commission. We have another hearing. DEP had not issued the DEP number, but the commission intends to close the hearing at the next meeting. I submitted an application detailing compliance with your regulations. You have A through H, a handful of items that you wanted us to address as part of the application. The first one is if the plan needs to be drawn at least to a scale of 1 inch equals 40 feet and shall be prepared by engineer, land surveyor. Second one, the plan shall reflect existing site features and include the size of the property, existing structures. So we have the existing building shown here in this rectangle. We have the abutting buildings, number 15 block. And we have a garage shown on this abutting building. Of course, off the street, all that infrastructure. We have a vicinity map showing the entire neighborhood with the proposed ADU shown here. Try and show how it will fit into the neighborhood. I think that was your intent of that provision. We have a locus map here. We've detailed zoning, how the project complies with the zoning requirements. D is, again, this vicinity map you required. E, the plan shall include all proposed buffers, screening, landscaping, to protect the budding residences. There's an existing wood privacy fence along this side that'll protect number 75 Block Street from adverse uses of this residential, or an increase in that, really, having an additional unit here. So they already have a privacy screen. On this side, this is the back side of the existing dwelling, no changes proposed there. They are proposing to relocate this shed from this location to this location. The exterior lighting, we're proposing a light for the stairs here and a light on the front as well. Dark sky compliant, pretty standard lighting. G, exterior decks and patios should be located to not intrude upon or generate excessive noise. Again, this is just an access stairway to get in. There's an accessible ramp here. And then this deck is located between the two buildings out of sight. And then H, if the detached protected ADU incorporates an upper story, that it shouldn't have adverse impacts on the abutting properties. There is no upper story proposed with the ADU. We've provided architectural plans that include the floor layout, including the floor layout of showing the bedroom, living room, kitchen, all elevations. Framing plan, lighting plan, elevation plan. Foundation in this case currently is proposed to be on footings due to the potential presence of ledge, so it's been designed so to minimize excavation as opposed to a, 18 by 50 foot hole. There's just several smaller holes to carry the weight of the structure and support it as the foundation. Otherwise, straightforward project. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Start with the board. You guys have any questions on this?
It's one story, right?
Correct.
So, all right, 900 square feet, and it looks generally like it matches the neighboring one as well. It's got is that a bay window in the front, or is that in the back?
That's the west elevation.
So that's the back.
Yeah.
The front looks like it kind of matches the front of the house next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this isn't prefab, not that it matters in it, but isn't prefab, it's,
It's stick framed, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And it's on a sonotube, it's sonotubes are supporting this thing, right?
I think they're Bigfoot type footings. So you can see they have the expanded base, but they appear like sonotubes as they get up to grade.
And it's not connected to the existing building? It looks like there's an area between the two that's gonna be kind of cleared out, is that what it?
Yeah, just by a deck here.
Yeah, okay,
So there'll be some steps up and back.
all right.
Is that going to be connected, though?
The
Because I
deck,
think they're supposed to be 10 feet, right?
Yeah.
Between,
Yeah, there's existing here, I just want to make sure I'm reading it right, that this is, whatever's on that corner of the existing house is going to be removed, so it doesn't connect the two structures.
Yeah, there's no connection. There's a bulkhead.
Yeah.
But structure to structure, we're showing 10.2 feet
Oh,
between.
will there be 10 feet between that deck and the house?
No, the deck is connected between the two, so you don't have to go down to the ground on a set of stairs and then go back up to.
I think that's what I was asking, is there's a deck connecting the two?
Yes, so there's a proposed deck, right?
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have you applied to the zoning board for relief on the 14.5, when it should be 15 feet setback? On the right-hand side?
Left side,
Left
rear.
side, sorry. Left side, thank you. My Prevagen brain. So if you look at the proposed dwelling at the top of it, or the back of it, I
Yep,
guess.
I'm seeing
And
that.
it's 14.5,
I'm seeing that.
and
I
it should
don't-
be 15 feet?
So accessory uses and accessory buildings, under 175-26 of the zoning bylaw, a detached accessory building may be erected in the side or rear yard,
You're using the 10 feet?
10 feet.
Okay, all right.
I could ask the architect, sir, Mr. Ulrich, sir, Abington High School classmate of mine, I'm sorry, long time ago. Would you care to make some comments on the architectural aspect? Would you care to make some comments on the architectural aspect?
It's a learning curve because it's new to a lot of us. What I discovered in the course of doing this is as long as one is providing a pitched roof to it, all these people are looking for storage. And so we provided a decent pitch to get some headroom up there for some storage. It's a pull-down staircase, but the footprint is very compact. It's still only a one-bedroom, and I've seen ADUs more than that. So I think the spaces for this one are very generous, and I'm very comfortable with that. My client came to me looking for a space for her mother, and that also explained the connection, the deck, so mom can get from one house to the other. And also the ramp, when I met her, she was working with a relator, she had an injury. So we made a ramp entry, none of which is required, but given the specifics of the use, we made those specific decisions for the client.
You guys have any comments on that? Larry, do you,
No, I guess you made reference to you not having to meet the 15-foot side because you're saying it's an accessory structure?
Correct.
Is there any limitations on that accessory structure at 10 foot for a certain size? Or is there no other, it's just all accessory
Just-
buildings 10?
Yep, just frontage setback is,
It's pretty general.
Part of 15.
We didn't have a
That's
lot
how
of
the
choice.
looking at it, as an accessory building.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of choice.
Yeah,
Wow,
It was the state.
thought the same thing.
yeah.
oh, no, no. it
Did you
doesn't.
talk to
If it was
the
attached. Needed.
building commissioner about the
Technically, it's
attached?
Well, the accessory.
Deck.
I have not, accessory dwelling units can be attached.
Can be attached.
Detached.
15
So they're choosing to attach it,
Okay.
which is good for actually getting.
I'm not.
In this case,
it's
it
a
actually
great
works
idea.
out real well.
It's a spectacular idea. Okay.
So this is, the process itself is relatively new to us.
Right?
This doesn't go through peer review,
It does not.
okay?
Because it's a by right use, and so as long, I believe, in those conversations we had a year ago, as long as they meet the screening requirements and the parking requirements, under the state law, there's not a lot you can do. Consider it like a Form A. It's not a lot you can do. We put those requirements in our bylaw. Several reasons I think you guys were all aware of, to let neighbors know that this was going to go in, and so they wouldn't be surprised when an accessory structure was being built. And as long as it's screened and there's no deck facing the neighbor or porch facing the neighbor and their trash is screened and they have sufficient parking. Are you, what did sewer and water want for you to do on the utilities, separate or shared?
Separate.
Separate, okay.
They want separate connections?
Yeah.
Front yard 35 feet is required.
If they change their mind, we'd rather just,
Yeah, I know.
Right?
yeah.
I guess the only question would be is, if you're coming under accessory, does it make a difference if it's attached versus detached?
Yes.
So whether or not
Yeah.
you become accessory?
My only question is the front yard setback. I'm pretty sure the accessory still needs the front yard setback. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it was
Yeah.
detached, I understand your argument about the, be it fall into the accessory setback.
So
I wasn't sure whether or not if it's attached to the main structure, whether or not you still have to meet the requirements of a structure in that district.
If it was attached, is the deck, I mean, that's a building department question.
Well, that's
I don't-
why I
don't-
asked.
I don't think the deck makes it attached, but they're missing a little bit on the front yard setback.
Yeah, what were you saying? You said it's because accessory allows
Accessory-
it to go down to 10.
Accessory,
the front yard.
yep,
Oh, in
front
the
and
front
rear,
yard. you're
Front
talking
yard is
about. On the front
different.
yard.
Front yard is different.
side and rear.
Yeah, right.
And I'm certainly not speaking for the building commissioner, but he and I have discussed this a little bit, and he has indicated, just as you're pointing out, there's some flexibility between whether you're choosing the zoning district you're in or the accessory use bylaw.
I thought the accessory bylaw, you still needed to meet the front yard
You
setback.
do. You do.
And you're missing by a little bit.
If the, zoning enforcement officer determines the same,
Yeah.
then we will be before
Going to
them.
the zoning board.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think the attachment changes whether it's accessory or not. It still meets the definition of accessory dwelling.
Yeah, the question would be, does the deck make it attached? My personal opinion, it doesn't, but
But there was also that 10-foot thing that we put in our bylaw that it has to, the structure has to be
In
10
between,
feet from
yeah.
from the pools, from the decks,
Yeah.
from everything else on the,
And it
all
is.
the other structures on the property, sheds. So I guess that's why I asked you if you talked to him about it, because I don't know.
Say that one more time?
So in our bylaw, I believe it says there has to be like 10 feet between the ADU and all the other structures on the property. So it would need to be 10 feet from an existing deck. I know the one on here is coming down, but it would need to be 10 feet from a pool, it would need to be 10 feet from a shed, any existing structures on the property. So that's why I asked about that deck. I mean, I think it's a great idea, don't get me wrong. I think it's
Yep.
fabulous.
I think the intent is from the main building, the 10 feet in between the two buildings.
Right.
I mean, obviously, that's a building.
Or if there's a deck, there's not like a 4-foot gap between the deck and the house. I think it's.
Right, right. So that's definitely going to be his call, but that's just,
Yeah.
I don't think the
Why I
deck
asked you.
makes it attached, but that's
I don't
his
know.
call.
Then
That's his call.
that's his call.
Okay.
And the same thing with the frontage. I mean, obviously, it doesn't meet the front yard setback, but
And then if
And-
you go to R30, it doesn't meet the side setback,
Right.
right?
And the main building is 2,000 square feet exactly?
Yeah, 1,000 first floor and second floor.
So you squeeze right under that 50%.
Yeah. You need to make 1,800. So,
Okay.
Can't go higher than 9.
The footprint looks like it's pretty close, but it's that second story on the main building that is what kicks it over.
Correct.
It's 10.2 between them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and we even set that shed more than 10 feet.
Okay, any further comments from the board? Larry, you have any? Okay, so, we've heard the presentation, architect and the engineer, and comments from our reviewer, and our town planner. So what's our next?
Need to make a motion to approve or disapprove?
Okay.
Did we close from the public?
Oh, yeah, should we?
It wasn't a public hearing, it
Okay.
was more of a public notice, so you don't have to close it.
I'll make the motion to approve it, Pete, with the, yes, I don't know how to want to word it, is the approval of the front yard setback in that it's not attached.
Someone want to second this?
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor of approval? Aye.
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 Unanimous.
Very good. Thanks for your time.
Great presentation.
Say hi to Tim, say hi to Tim for me, okay? Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is,
Can I ask the dumb question before you guys leave? Can you move that back so it's 35 feet
Probably not with the.
because of the wetlands?
With conservation
Yep.
purposes.
Oh, hold on. I just need to, I forgot I was sending these over to you. The sewer department has reviewed your request and wanted to let you know that the project is subject to a system development fee that must be paid prior to the building permit sign-off.
Okay.
And the Board of Health has no problems.
Okay. Sounds good. Did they send you that by email? Did you forward those? by-
I can't, as you can see, hard copy.
No problem.
If you want to,
It'll come up somewhere in the process.
yeah. It'll be in our decision letter.
Okay, perfect.
Take care.
Thanks.
okay, 6:15 PM, public hearing, site plan and special permit, 200 Wales Street, continued. And I see a lot of people getting up to make presentations.
But on the existing house,
So calculations, we only have.
Thank you.
About
Thanks. Okay, the chair recognizes Attorney Sean Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Give your address, please.
Thanks. For the record, Sean Riley with an office at 500 Washington Street in Abington Center. With me tonight is Sean Hardy and Jackson Griffiths from Hardy and Mann, their engineering company, and Mr. Steven Zaboski in the black vest, who is the applicant. As you know, this is a continued hearing, and just to kind of refresh everyone where we are, we filed in November. We had our first hearing on December 1st, and Mr. Silva had submitted a review letter in end of November. We had the hearing, went over a bunch of details. The next hearing was going to be scheduled for February 2nd, and that could continue to March 2nd. In the meantime, we had submitted a response letter, more information in February. Then Mr. Silver then issued another letter, another review letter in early March. There was another response letter, more information back and forth between the engineers, and then another review letter on March 30th. And then it gets us to today. So even though we haven't met since December, the engineers and I have been back and forth working out details, providing information, answering questions, and just trying to show how the project might comply with our bylaws. To remind you, the property address now as it stands is 200 Wales Street, which is the address of the old factory building that basically fronts on Wales Street, the corner of Wales and Railroad Street. The proposal is to create 2 residential lots on the rear of this property, which is on Jefferson Street. One of the lots, a smaller lot, would be Lot 2, would be the 2-unit duplex. That would require a special permit from this board for all residential use in the central business district. Lot 3, which is on the corner at Jefferson and Railroad, is a 2-story residential structure, 8 one-bedroom units. That also would require a special permit to have all residential. It's our thought that it wouldn't be wise to build a commercial use on Jefferson Street because the entirety of Jefferson Street is residential. And so this would the use would work better on Jefferson Street, and this really kind of segregates the factory building, the commercial uses there, and creates a residential uses and pretty much permanently makes that part of Jefferson Street residential. As it is right now, the owner could put in commercial or expand his use, but Steve has an agreement with him that he can purchase these 2 lots and use them for residential purposes. In addition, there are special permits on the table for lot coverage for Lot 3, the 8-unit building, and for remainder of Lot 1, the factory building. The maximum allowed without a special permit is 60%. We are requesting, I believe it's about 65%, roughly. I have it written down, I'll grab that, for lots 1 and 3. And then finally, of course, in general, is site plan approval. And site plan approval, as you know, requires us to submit a lot of details about not only the structures, but about the vegetation, the trees that we save, the trees that we plant, about the drainage, about any site lighting, about any traffic flows, parking, everything, all the details that are in our site plan review bylaw. So as a reminder, for the 8-unit, the only driveway is on Railroad Street. It does not come out onto Jefferson Street. We have sufficient parking, a little extra parking on Lot 3, the 8-unit building. So there's enough for guest parking on site, never mind parking on Railroad Street in the unlikely event there's something going on, big going on. We've demonstrated we've filed a lot of documentation, I understand it, but we've demonstrated our compliance with the tree canopy bylaw and with the buffer bylaw. Just to review with Lot 3 in particular, we need to count how many 6-inch trees are being removed. There are 12 being removed in the actual construction zone, and the way our bylaw reads, we need to replace those trees that are 6 inches or greater with other trees that will mature up to, I think it's 30 feet. Technically, you don't have to count the trees that are removed in the construction area, but just to put everything out there on the table, there are 12 being removed in the construction area. We are planting 12 blue spruce, which also serves as a buffer under another part of the zoning bylaw. We're also preserving 4 of the existing large trees that run along Jefferson Street. One is very close to the building. We're going to try to make sure we protect that, but at a minimum 3, hopefully all 4 would be protected. There are also going to be extra trees planted on Lot 1, which is the factory lot, to increase that tree canopy. Some trees are going to be obviously existing and remaining on the rear of Lot 1 where it comes close to Lot 3, but we're also adding some where it gets closer to Lot 2, so you'll see more trees. And again, that's already been submitted and is in part of the record. We are also planting 26 shrubs and bushes around the building on Lot 3. There is no septic on either property because both properties will be connected to water and sewer. Drainage has been reviewed by both engineers, our engineers, Sean Hardy and Jackson, along with Mr. Silver, and I'll let them get into those details because it's above my pay grade. But they reviewed the soil maps and soil tests and the drainage designs. And then last but not least, but we also are required to file a photometric plan. We had filed one earlier. It asked for an updated or one that encapsulated also part of Lot 1, the factory building, which we did. However, the one that was submitted, there's so much data on it, it's really hard to read. So what I handed to you now was that photometric plan, and I connected the dots with that, call it purple-pink line. which is at 0.5 foot candles. Our bylaw says you can't have more than 0.5 going more than 25 feet over your lot line or into a street. And this shows that we do conform. We do not create any illegal light trespass on our neighbors, including onto Lot 1. So that complies in it, but it is something that was required and something we have submitted. There is going to be underground drainage installed on Lot 3, which is the 8-unit building. The existing drainage on Lot 1 won't change. Much of what's on the factory's property won't change. As it exists right now, there's a large paved parking lot that you access off of Whale Street. Some of that pavement is being removed so we can create more green space, most of which is on Lot 1. There'll be trees planted, and as it is now, nothing's changing in that pavement. Everything kind of flows towards Whale Street. There is one drain on Factory Lot 1, which is a trench drain at the bottom of that rear driveway that leads to the loading dock. So any water that goes down towards the loading dock is captured by that trench drain and is actually carried out and pumped into a drain on Whale Street, and that's been like that for over 100 years, we're told. I know we've gone over a lot of detail. I don't want to repeat everything we've gone over, but I think it's important to kind of check the boxes of the things we have addressed. I would like Sean to just kind of update us on the drainage design and the questions that came up earlier and how he's been able to answer them, and then perhaps we can have Mr. Silver. And Mr. Silver recently issued another response letter in which you can see that most everything has been closed out. But if there's any other issues that you'd like to discuss, or if the neighbors would like to discuss, we're more than happy to address it. So if you don't mind, I'll step aside for Sean Hardy and let Sean describe his work.
Mr. Hardy, are we looking at this response?
What's the, yeah.
Yes.
So, again, we had a couple rounds of peer review. We had responded I think last week, there was one, if you saw Mr. Silva's letter, everything was addressed. There was 2 remaining items, but they were kind of hinged on each other. It was a question regarding the soils, and what that was, he brought up a good point that our soil log, we're calling coarse sand all the way through, which if we were next to pavement or whatever, there should be an A and a B layer. That was something that we, primarily when you do a drainage design, you focus in on that C layer. That's where the drainage system resides. That's what the systems gets modeled off of. This morning, we issued the handwritten note from the day I did the test pits, as well as the DEP stormwater forms showing the A layer, the B layer, the sandy looms. And I think that addressed his comments. The other things were, there was questions about, number of parking spaces and things like that. We had gone through with those, and I think got those all squared away and shown properly. There were no real wholesale changes to the drainage system other than kind of moving it around a little bit to get it a little further away from the building, I think, on that Lot 2. And other than that, it was more of just a clarification or an explanation of the system and what was actually serving it. I think that's basically it.
Larry?
Yeah, it's, as was said, we did, this is our letter that we issued on March 30th was the 3rd technical review. In that technical review, pretty much all the items, most of the items, were closed out. We were awaiting the photometric, and I first got the photometric, the large scale one, that you would think that you might be able to read these at a large scale, and you couldn't read anything, okay? But this here is fine. If this becomes part of the record, then that satisfies that issue. That was a comment. Sean has indicated about the test pits, because I had a concern that the logs was all showing coarse sand all the way down. He has clarified that and is amending that on the final plans just to show what actually showed me in the soil logs, which is fine. And I think the other item that was still there was, there was just a minor change on the 8-unit building that I just wanted to make sure that he had enough cover over the drainage and that it worked with the grading. And on this final plan, there'll be just a couple of changes on the
Yeah, we'll have to add a
finished
couple
floor
of spot
elevation will
grades.
go up a little bit, and there's a couple spot grades that he's gonna add in there to satisfy the comment that I had about that. I would say that at this point here, I'm comfortable that the items that I've asked to be addressed have been addressed. So, I'm feeling pretty good about where they are at this point.
Larry, what was that item that you said you thought that something needed to be addressed?
Which one is that now?
Well, we have 5F, right?
Yep.
Where this whole question of test pits comes up,
Yeah,
right?
so,
And,
there was testimony here, the neighbor was here and indicated that he was seeing that there was not great soils where his house was.
yep,
The test logs that Sean had indicated were that he was experiencing coarse sand. I went back and looked at the soil maps for this area, and the area of the site and the neighboring site, the neighbor's area,
Yeah.
all fall within the same soil classification, which do show that you should have coarse sand and gravels when you get down to about 5 feet. That, you get an A and a B soil, but then once you get past that, you get into sands and gravels, and they go down pretty good. Okay, so, I can't speak for why the neighbor has had problems, but I don't think that there's a disconnect between what the soil maps show and what the soil logs are that Sean had. I feel comfortable that they are representative of what is out there. And so I can't speak to why the neighbor may have had problems on his site. Could be any number of reasons, but I don't think that they're germane to what's going on with this site here.
so
I'm
one of the things I'm
comfortable with
trying to
that
get
part of
to
it.
is in the March 30th peer review letter, related to this whole discussion, the recommendation had been that it may be worthwhile to include another couple of test pits.
Well, I think that the test pits that were done are representative. I think that if at the time of construction, there is any kind of difference that's noted when they go to install the drainage or whatever, maybe at that point in time, somebody should review it at that time, just to make sure that everything is according to what it was recorded. I don't expect that there'll be a difference, but maybe that's a condition you can put in there. I don't think it needs to be done in advance of it now. I feel comfortable about where it is, but I think that at the time, in terms of I don't know who else would have been viewing the installation of that drainage at that time. If there isn't another mechanism for it, then I would say that at that point, maybe just have a condition in there that, we would take a look at it at that point. But I feel comfortable that everything that I've asked for in terms of questions or comments, that everything has been addressed by the time we finished the third review. And in that third review, there were a couple of open items, and they've submitted those in advance of this meeting.
So basically, you're satisfied.
I'm satisfied.
Sir, any comments from the board?
Can you just clarify which way does stormwater flow on this site? Is it toward the factory building or away from the factory building?
It's pretty much towards the factory building for the most part. There may be some isolated areas that the contouring right at the street.
Yeah, as far as the grading goes, this is comes down low. There's a loading dock there. Generally, this all sheet flows in that direction. Our proposed stormwater, we're taking the roof runoff in the parking lot, and it's being graded out to here to a trench drain that's gonna collect that, so that the only runoff will be from the green space. And then this two-family, we're taking a two-Cultec chamber to put the roof runoff in there, but that's just a small driveway that.
Yeah, there's nothing that's contributing to any issues on Jefferson.
All right. How much water did you ask for the 8-unit building?
How much what?
How much water?
Water?
Drinking water.
We haven't applied to the water department yet.
Haven't applied yet.
All right, so you don't know if you'll get it. This is all based on whether or not you get the application, get the capacity?
Yeah, as you know, we have to get permits from you, from water department, from sewer department, and eventually the building department. We can't get a building permit without all the other sign-offs.
All right, but you don't know how much you have to ask for?
Well, with 8 one-bedroom units, I'm not sure if they're using 110 per unit right now, usually for Title V. They have, last I heard, I was at the water department's public hearing, they have 60,000 gallons available. So I don't think it's an issue, but it's part of the procedure, and they do charge a hefty fee to connect to the water main.
So the calculation is 110 gallons per bedroom per day?
I believe that's what they still use.
And that comes out of the 50,000 or 60,000, whatever number they're using today. That's the, right?
Yeah, and that's conservative, because 110 gallons per day is based on Title V.
Title V is based on a safety factor of 2 over what your normal daily would be.
Right.
So,
So if they allocated 8,800 gallons, 880 gallons, sorry, likely you'd probably see a use of somewhere closer to 400, but they allocate. And then after some sort of time period of use, for example, the condominiums next to Lowe's, Thayer Street, 2 units, on average, they were using around 90 to 100 gallons a day, but they were allocated 220 because they were 2-bedroom units.
All right. You brought up the issue of, any potential 21, is it 21E? It's the remediation rules. How would that be determined if there is an issue?
We submitted paperwork to show that there isn't any issue. There were issues back in the 90s that were cleaned up by the fire.
On these 2 plots?
No, they weren't on these lots. There was in the factories itself, they used to have a large oil tank above ground and another, 2 of them. They removed one completely. One is still there in a bathtub in a covered building. I believe it's empty, but it's still there. There was also a leaching pit in one area that was removed. There was all sorts of groundwater samplings done. Everything was signed off.
Because obviously 150-year-old factory buildings don't have great records necessarily.
Right.
And that area hasn't been disturbed and built on was there ever anything on that part of the lot?
Other than some old sewer tanks that are kind of in the back of lot 1, which actually we're going to remove as part of that, just, you don't want the open tanks there.
Above ground?
No, below ground. They've been abandoned for years. The current building is used natural gas and sewer, and municipal water. I toured the building after our last hearing with the owner. Fascinating piece of history. And we submitted, I think you guys saw a detailed list of all the different types of tenants and the parking requirements. The building requires 31 parking spaces, there's 62 available. The uses that are in there now, pretty harmless as far as 21E.
Yeah, I'm not worried about what's going on the past 30 years. I'm worried about the 100 years before that.
Yeah, no, there was a 21E report done by Conoco, I think it was, Conoco, when we submitted portions of that report to Larry.
But that part of the site wasn't tested as part of it?
No, they
It
did.
was.
There was monitoring wells and.
That's what
and-
I'm
yeah,
asking.
Oh, I'm
There were,
sorry.
there were monitoring wells and soil borings that were done.
Okay,
but
that's what I wanted to
but
make
there
sure.
was no contamination found on that side.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make
Yes.
sure is that,
Yeah.
okay. We weren't just making an assumption that it never got over there that.
No, right, but, sorry, I was answering it differently. Where were the tanks that were
Okay,
near the building, in the building?
And the drains were also, I'm sorry.
sorry. My larger issue is I hate the amount of pavement we're creating on these sites. I know part of it is the bylaw requirement where you can't have the parking in the front yard. So we have to create driveways now that go around to the back. And we're creating an enormous amount of pavement that I don't think we need. Even on the 8-story building, I understand why you're keeping it off Lincoln. I don't think it makes a difference because if people need to go to Adams Street, they're just gonna go down that road anyway. I don't think it matters if the driveway is off that road or if off Railroad. I'm sorry to the neighbors, but it doesn't matter, I don't think. But I also wondering is why can't we just have parking along the property line turn the building so that you're giving yourself a little extra room, and just keep it along that property line, and then you have all the space along the lawn. Otherwise, we're creating, how many, 15,000 square feet of pavement we don't actually need. It's a driveway.
That's why we opted, and part of our application is to allow the 9-foot wide parking spaces instead of the standard 10-foot wide.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to minimize parking. You're right, parking, you're right, there's always the yin and the yang, and parking is parking. You don't want to create issues where you're relying on street parking.
Yeah, and the other part is, we do have bylaws that allow for shared parking, and right next door, there's a factory that has 66 parking spaces that never get used for the most part. So and I know you can't have a primary use for the parking on another one, but, like, again, was there any way we looked at whether or not we could just have, 12 angled spaces along that property line, along the factory property line, and we can get rid of all this extra pavement?
No.
Because otherwise, the whole property is either pavement or building. I mean, I know that there's a limited, coverage rule for this district, but I mean, it's just, I feel like it's so needless.
About 40%, 38%, was it 35, 36% is greenery. And believe me, we would like to minimize paving where necessary
Yeah.
because that generates drainage issues. We have to enlarge our drainage system, and pavement's expensive. But like in the driveway alone, you have certain minimums you have to maintain. We think the plan that we've submitted conforms in all respects, and we've tried our best to minimize drainage and pavement. And I think the final product, by saving the trees on Jefferson Street and planting the other trees in the 26 bushes, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised as things grow in.
But did you ever actually measure out whether you just keep all the parking along the property line instead of creating a whole separate lot and a driveway? Meaning the driveway is part of the parking lot, I understand. But we're not talking a major high traffic area here.
Right. You're talking about making a parking along Lot 1? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so like where you're gonna put the arborvitae's,
Yep.
there's just 12 angled in spaces or something, or 12 spaces.
Blue spruces, but I understand.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we also then have a buffer where we have to have green space away from the lot line.
Yeah.
Like the driveway has to be 10 foot off the lot line. So there's all these different factors that they drew up a plan, they sent it to me, and I read it and said, you can't put the driveway there, you gotta move it 10 feet away. You can't do this, you have to plant a double row of trees, you need room for that. You need to have a place where you have the dumpster, which is gonna be convenient for the actual truck driver, and it's away from neighbors. All that goes into the design, and I think what we're proposing is a good design, frankly. But I understand your comments, Rick. It is always something, and in the CBD district, I think you're gonna see this throughout, because this district, as you know, makes the building go up within 10 feet of the property line.
Yeah.
Which means, as you said initially, all the pavement goes to the rear, which means you need a driveway to the rear.
Yeah.
Initially, at one point, I can tell you, we had a second driveway opening out to Jefferson Street. We eliminated that, so there wasn't just a cut-through. We eliminated it because we didn't want to dump traffic on Jefferson Street, and allowed us to put another green strip over there. So there were pros and cons and everything we looked at.
And in order to get around any of the dimensional rules, you'd have to go to ZBA, not planning board, right?
Yeah, if we need to move the building back, you need a variance.
Because that's one of the comments I had made initially,
read those.
was that why can't we
Thanks.
put the building further back, have the parking towards the railroad side?
Yeah, I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I mean,
then that would have had not, eliminate that big driveway
Yeah.
going to the back. But that gets into the,
I'd
Yeah,
love to see us, I'd love to see us tweak that bylaw where perhaps the board would have a right, this board would have a right to waive those type of restrictions if deemed appropriate. On North Avenue and Abington, North Abington Center or an Abington Center, it might make sense to have the building up front and parking out in the rear. But perhaps like on a side street here, it
Yeah,
might be nice to get
that's-
wiggle room, but we don't have that right.
So where that bylaw doesn't make sense, and I know we said we agree that we'll make this full residential, but it's just then you're running into all sorts of rules that don't make sense or are making it a worse project in my mind. So,
At this point, I need to break in and read some some comments from town boards. Abington Rockland Joint Waterworks, they sent a letter on November 13th, 2025, Town of Abington Planning Board, RE 200 Wales Street, Abington. Your board members, I am in receipt of the planned, site plan special permit for the two buildings proposed for the lots located at 200 Wales Street, Abington, lots 2 and 3 Jefferson Street. The developer is required to fill out and submit a request for water application and appear before the Joint Board of Water Commissioners to discuss the project. Water approval and next steps will be discussed at the joint meeting, and signed Crystal Cameron, Superintendent. Got a letter from Abington Department of Public Works. This is John Stone. Dear Mr. Hughes, the Abington Sewer Department has reviewed your request for information regarding the planning board hearing scheduled for December 1st, 2025, and has the following comments. 200 Wales Street, the proposal located at Assessor's Plan 53, lots 173 and 175, must be approved by the Board of Sewer Commissioners at a regularly scheduled meeting. And then we've got something from the Board of Health, conceptual layout plan, 200 Wales Street, dated February 5th, 2026, 200 Wales Street, Lot 1, Abington. And this was
I
submitted for...
believe they don't have any issues.
Yeah, they don't have any issues. Yeah, I was going to read.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know if you could read his writing.
No, I could, no, I have horrible handwriting, so I can...
Okay.
I've read Jim Watson's handwriting. Anyway, he was a planner from Old Colony Planning Council, a terrible handwriting. Okay, so that's it.
That's it.
All right, can we use back those? All right, guys, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So, we have heard, you guys have anything more to say? Larry?
No.
Guys, can we open up this public comment? Can we open up this public comment? Please come up and identify yourself and give your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Goulston. I'm representing Richard and Pat McKenna at 52 Jefferson Street. Mr. and Mrs. McKenna have been living in that house over 60 years. I've been married to their daughter for over 40, so I know the property well. They have a real big issue with the water. I personally have been in that basement up to my waist in water. That thing floods all the time. As Mr. McKenna said in the last meeting, he has a pump that goes out to the drain, and that thing never stops. So I don't know what how we could rectify that, but I know Mr. McKenna is very adamant about the water situation. There are a few things that I, just by listening, so am I under the assumption now that 200 is the front of that building?
Existing building. The address?
Yeah.
200, that's the factory buildings, sorry. The street address of the factory building is 200 Wales Street. They haven't assigned any street addresses for the two proposed buildings.
Okay, so, because there is the rear setback is 20 feet. I think there's a lot of problems with this plan. I mean, I'm pro-development, but I think this is kind of like, cramming everything in this one little lot. And I understand the developer has to get as much in as he can to make the money. I think parking is going to be a huge problem here. We're talking about 3 lots now. Now you're talking about lot 1 has 37 parking spaces of it that they need. They have over 60 there. Now you're going to take lots parking from one lot, and I don't know if you assign it to the other lot. I don't know how you would do that. But if something else wants to move in that needs a lot of parking, how do we address the parking situation with that? Is there an easement? Is there I don't know what how do you assign parking back and forth? And it's a separate street, there's a 10-foot right of way in between that's going to be all trees. The removal of the trees, I don't know where they get 6 trees. I counted over 100 trees down there. I don't know if you guys have been to that lot. I know what a 6-inch tree is like. Is that a 6-inch tree? Has you guys been to this lot? There's more than 6. I mean, there's a ton of trees down there. I don't know how you're going to replace that with the runoff. Big concern is as Mr. Collins was stating, with the amount of pavement, and that I think the bylaw says it's 60% lot coverage. It's exceeding the 60% lot coverage. There's over 65%, as the attorney said,
I don't understand that. Where's all that water gonna run off to? Who, and then they said there's gonna be I was reading, there's gonna be an impervious, driveways there in parking, is that right? That's correct. Who maintains that over the years when they fill? Does that get filled? I mean, does debris get in them and clog them? Get directed at me. Oh, I'm sorry, to whoever can answer that. I don't know if that's something that is addressed, I mean, that's just gonna keep. It's a private. He's asking who's gonna maintain the drainage that's on the individual residential lots. That's the owners of the lots themselves.
Yep.
Will that be part of this whole plan, that they would have to maintain that in some way?
It's, pretty much it's understood, just like any single-family homeowner, you're responsible to kind of keep your lot in good condition, clean it, and if you have a drainage issue that develops in your lot, you're required. Under current stormwater management, when there's new development, we have to demonstrate that when it rains out, where does the water go on our lot? We need to collect it. We can't just pitch our pavement so it flows through Dick and Pat's house. We can't do that. And that's why we have catch basins on ours that collect it and store it underground. So we're not allowed by law to just let it flow anywhere it goes. And that's why the engineer has to design it that way, and then the town's engineer reviews his work. So basically, until he agrees with it, we can't construct, and the board would never approve such a thing. Moving forward, who's responsible? It's always the homeowner, the property owner. Mr. Zaboski, which goes Steve right behind us, he owns several buildings in Abington. If you drove by any one of them, they're all well maintained. In fact, another one right down the other end of Railroad Street. So it just has to be designed correctly so it works correctly, and the two engineers have come to the conclusion that it has been. I don't want to speak for you guys.
Additionally, we do have an operation and maintenance, so it's required, it outlines how often the things need to be cleaned and inspected. And to piggyback off Sean, Mr. Zaboski owns the 176 Whale Street, which is right next door. He's currently maintaining that. That's been in use for a number of years now. So it is the individual property owners that maintain.
Thank you. Sure. So I guess just basically, I know the McKennas are opposed to this. They're not opposed to the project, they're opposed to the water. They've had nothing but problems with the water in their house for years and years. I don't know if there's something that they can do to develop something that they can, get the water off of their lot somehow. And then we need some green space across the street where it'll cover it up. I think that it's basically the water and the amount of coverage on the lots that are the two biggest problems for the McKennas.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, guys.
Any other public comment? Yes, just come up and give your name and address, please.
Jefferson Street.
Your name, please, I'm sorry.
He did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There's 4 houses on Jefferson with a total of 8 residents. This is going to be quite an impact on the street. Plus, like he said, there's probably over 100 trees on that lot that they're talking about removing 12, but I'm assuming they're all going to be removed?
Yeah, with the construction will be correct, sorry, moving forward to that.
But all the other trees,
Yeah,
every tree in there will be removed.
yeah, pretty much in the zone.
So more than the 12.
Yes. The number 12 that I mentioned is because the bylaw makes us count any tree that's 6 inches or greater, and that's 12 on that lot 3.
Right.
And then we're required to replace.
Right. But, all right, yeah, certain
Yeah, all
amount.
the underbrush would have to come out, obviously, in order to.
Right, the underbrush, I understand that. The trees are what they absorb the water over there. I mean, I pump water, I'm pumping water today. Everybody on the street pumps water. My other concern is the exits are gonna be on Railroad Street for the 8 family? Okay. And my other concern is, I've been told that there was a tank in there that contains hazardous waste. I heard somebody say that it's been checked. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, there was a written report from an environmental company in, I forget the year, more than 1999. The
Because there's a couple tanks in there I can see.
the hazardous waste tanks, there was 2 oil tanks.
Yeah.
One has been completely removed, and this is, we're talking now 30 years ago. One of them is pretty much empty, but it's, you know that, if you drive in the parking lot on Wales Street, and the big red brick building's on your right.
Yep.
And then the next thing right behind it is this like little shed of a building.
Right.
We're told that there's one in there and it's surrounded by concrete. Could be removed, but it's.
But there's one also in the woods.
That was the old septic tank.
No, with a metal lid. I know the septic tank is. The septic tanks are here, and there's one in front of it with a metal lid.
This,
And what concerns me is there's a lot of trees in that area that are only this big. I've been there 35 years and they haven't grown. So is,
there are 2 enormous septic tanks out there.
right, but what about the big tank north of the septic tanks?
There's nothing that's been identified. There's 2 big, like.
I mean, it's got a big black
10-foot
lid, you can't
Yeah,
miss it.
No, I know. I've stood on both of them. It's 2 septic, they were identified in the 20.
But they're identified as a septic cover, right?
Septic tank, yeah.
Right, with the same regular cover that anybody would have in their own house?
Not necessarily. But they're identified in the 21 years. They are septic tanks.
Well, I know where the septic tanks are, because I've been in the woods before there. But what I'm saying is north of that, there's another big black lid.
That's the second septic tank.
I've never seen a tank like that with a lid like that in my life.
Somebody put a whatever lid on it. It doesn't, that's what's
Are they gonna do any
identified.
kind of testing?
It was. There was a 21E that was performed by a licensed site professional that determined those were septic tanks and there's nothing else out there.
And that was in the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, those were abandoned because they later connected the factory to town sewer. So they're basically empty buildings.
Something very suspect in it. So anyways, but when excavation goes on, if there is something found
Yeah, oh yeah, and that would be true if.
anywhere,
Yeah, exactly. If they.
I mean, if you're digging up and you all of a sudden you come across a tank,
Yeah, you stop.
yeah.
Right, exactly. No doubt about it. We have, Steve's not gonna wanna buy a problem or a property, so.
And I understand that, and I'm looking out for his best
Yeah, of
interest.
course, of course. And so, we did all the research. We asked the owner to give us all his paperwork that he had, because he did the same
So
thing when
the-
he bought it, Mr. Curtis.
So Curtis bought off a flood. He's only been in there about 6, 7 years. So the Jefferson Street here, would there be a chance they're gonna have a fence around here, correct?
Yes, Mr. Pape?
Yes.
Pape, right? I want to make sure. There's a fence around the 2-unit, this small little building here, that's going to be fenced in, solid fence. And so there's a solid fence coming down between the 2 lots. This is lot 3, that's lot 2.
Right.
The factory is lot 1.
What about a fence going across here, so Mr. McKenna isn't looking at parking lots all day long and cars coming in and out?
No,
Well, not
because-
cars coming in and out, but cars opening and closing doors at nighttime and whatever.
Right, there's trees, we're keeping all those street trees here. If you see, that's the lot line, this is the street line out here. So
Okay.
this is all grass and trees out here. Okay? Believe me, if it became an issue, when, as they start putting everything together, and Dick or Pat want another fence in that area,
Okay.
Steve would have no problem with that.
Mr.
All right.
Excuse me.
Sorry, yeah.
And it's still,
I just wanted to, I was going to have a recess, but Ms. Shea has come back into the room.
Okay.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
Is leaving, she'll be back.
it's still quite a big building for a small lot. I mean, I don't know if anybody's driven by and looked at it, but, I mean, it's definitely doesn't fit the street, so to speak.
All right, we've got an
The
issue.
duplex you could live with, you know?
I'm sorry.
We have an issue. Our town planner has had to leave the room. Her husband's been sick and stuff like that. So as far as I know, no one's recording this meeting right now.
Cable TV is recording it, but go ahead.
I was just wondering, do you think we might pause this?
Want to recess for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, could we recess for about 15 minutes?
I have no problem with that. So, they're gonna stop the meeting for 15 minutes, because Liz Shea's husband just came out of the hospital, and she wants to check on him. So, we're gonna pause the meeting for 15 minutes.
We're gonna have a timeout for 15
Yep.
minutes.
Yeah.
And then you can come right back up here and we'll talk more.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really don't know if I have any more questions other than,
Okay.
I mean, unless there's somebody else that does.
Well, we're gonna restart in 15 minutes, so if you think of something.
Okay.
And the assistant town planner is out sick, so we'd normally have someone else in here, but he's, all right. Thank
You
you.
want to take a vote to recess?
Yeah, take a
Motion to recess until 7:30.
Right?
second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay,
Didn't lose anyway, did you?
Yeah, that's a couple. A couple right now.
we're back.
You clean.
Back a little earlier than we thought, but Ms. Shea is back, so let's get this thing rolling again. Where were we? Were there any more folks in the public who would like to make comments? Okay. Mr. Riley, did you have any? Oh, you know, the question was, the gentleman in the blue shirt, you said you had all that water in your in-laws' house. Do you know where that's coming from? I just like to address
I
that.
just, I imagine it's the groundwater.
Okay.
That's the only thing I got. I mean, that thing there's been pumps in.
Yeah, just point of clarification. Is it happening seasonally or related to storm events?
All the time.
We're pumping now from 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
It's a lot. My understanding is when you get out to about 10 or 12 feet, you hit clay. And when it gets to the clay, it's got some way to
You can,
go.
why don't you use the mic if you want to.
You know what I'm saying?
You just have to come up to the mic, sir.
So I mean, you know, when I perked my property 34 years ago, it perked. But when I was talking to Dick McKenna, he says he tried to drive a well, and when you get to 12 feet,
you had a restrictive layer at that,
it's clay, and
yeah.
unfortunately, everything comes back up. And there's no drainage on the streets either, other than on the corner of Railroad and Jefferson, but water comes down Route 58, right down past my house every storm. And I questioned about getting a drain, but, you know, deaf ears.
Well, we will not contribute to your issues. I'm sorry, I don't know that we can solve your issues because you're on the other side of the street.
Well, like I said, I just want to make sure everything's done correctly.
Yes. As do we, because Mr. Zabowski will own it. So it has to be designed. Oh, there he is, right there. So, and part of this review is to make sure we're not making your problems worse.
Right.
I think we can demonstrate that.
And I
Part of me
don't,
being here.
That's right.
and I know this isn't going to help any of you right at this moment, but we are currently preparing a survey, asking people where it floods, because we have a grant to locate where places are flooding, and then get a map of them, and then eventually try to work on resolutions for that. So for all over town, there'll be a survey going out this summer about flooding and where it is, and there'll be an interactive map, and you can just put a dot where the house is.
I'm sure you'll be hearing from Mr.
Again, it's not that,
If I could just for 1 second, I just want to say to you that, last year I did a property in Bridgewater, and the woman just had her driveway done, and all of a sudden it collapsed, okay? And so she asked me to evaluate what was going on. In the process of evaluating what was going on, it determined that in her driveway, when the guy was doing the work, he accidentally punctured what was a stone drain that was underneath her yard, which came from the railroad, which was about 1,000 feet away. That was going through there and had been put in back when they did the railroad in the 1800s. Okay, and it was a beautiful stone pipe, but they had punctured it. And so what was happening was all the water that was coming from there was all just now, it was affecting her yard. And I had to have them put in SDR 35 pipes to repair that drain underneath to make sure that everything still flowed where it was going. Nobody really knew where it was going, but we knew it had an outlet down somewhere near the river. The proximity to the railroad, don't discount the possibility that some of what you might be seeing, because I see soils that are pretty good, and there is hard pan down below. But there may be somewhere in history, some other kinds of drains that you may or may not know about that are conveying water through that area, which are worth looking into, you know what I'm saying? So,
Or the apple fire, could be one or two, and we don't know.
yeah.
All right. So we've gotten public comment and, okay, and engineers comment. Mr. Riley, do you have any further?
Can I, the only other minor issue that was brought up, and I just wanted to make sure that we kind of cross this off our list. Our proposal had shown clapboard siding, kind of a two-tone, more residential look. Mr. Collins had asked us to look at maybe changing it to a brick exterior. So we had two different thoughts, big picture. It was my belief anyhow, we've talked about it ourselves, that the clapboard kind of blended more with the residences on Jefferson Street, which is where it would be most visible. Whereas a brick building would, sure, it would blend with the factory, but there aren't any other neighbors on Railroad Street that would see that. We can do it either way. We've submitted designs for both. But because the board had mentioned and brought it up, I thought, although I'm not so great about the board choosing the design of a private building, I didn't want to ignore that. I think we prefer the clapboard. We think it's more residential looking. But if there's any strong belief either way, we'd love to hear it. But otherwise, we would proceed with clapboard and shaker shingles and all.
Well, we'll see where that goes as far as condition of approval. All right. Okay. Yep, got to come back up again, sir.
If everything does go through and everything does get approved, does that change the zoning on the duplex on Jefferson Street from business to residential?
No.
So they could open up a hairdressing shop across the street?
No, we're asking for them to issue a special permit to allow 100% residential use. If 10 years from now, someone wanted to come in and rip that building down and build a commercial building, yeah, sure, but they'd have to notify you and come back and have a whole nother hearing with a whole nother site plan, because it's a commercial use. We do not want a commercial use, but in order to have it all residential, we have to ask them for a special permit to approve that. So I don't know if I just,
If they want to change it back and make it that commercial residential relationship, it would have to come back here and
Yes.
you would get notified.
So switch to residential? And I know they could switch it back to commercial?
if there's going to be any sort of commercial to be put there, it would have to come back to this board with a public hearing.
And it would have to undo what was done here now in order to be able to change that.
I mean, once he builds the 2 units, it's very unlikely
Oh,
someone's
sure,
going to pay for it.
sure.
But
Sure.
but by granting the special permit, it locks it in.
Right.
I'm hoping this doesn't happen, but if they deny the special permit and don't allow residential uses, then yes, it can be developed commercially or with mixed uses or whatever. Mr. Curtis would like to develop something out back there. We're proposing residential only. So if you want to say right now that you support the special permit, that would be great.
I support something smaller. I support something smaller on the lot. I would support 8 units, maybe 4.
Okay. So you guys can stand back. I'm going to ask Ms. Shea to specify to us what we need to do with this.
So you need to take action on 4 special permit requests.
Okay?
We can do them one at a time if that makes you happy, and then a site plan. So I think if you want to condition the project, the site plan is where you put those conditions.
Okay, let's do it one.
Can you, I want to take them up one at a time, but can you tell us what the 4 are at a
Yes,
time?
so, thank you, Mr. Riley, for providing a cheat sheet. It's a special permit for lot coverage over 60% on Lot 1, which is the 200 Wales Factory Building. And then a special permit on Lot 2, which is that smaller lot for 100% residential use. And then Lot 3, which is the 8-unit dwelling lot, and that's a special permit for 100% residential use and a special permit for lot coverage over 60%. They're at 65.7, and I'll go back, and the factory lot is at 66.3 impervious surface. And that is currently existing. And then the site plan approval for Lot 3 only, and they're looking for a waiver to allow the proposed 9-foot wide parking spaces. That's what they're requesting, and then you have Larry's letter dated March 30th, which I think, at this point, the only thing left is maybe somebody to witness test pits in the future, or construction in the future to verify the soils.
And I would say, given the fact that those tanks are out there, is to just verify that those tanks were removed properly and stuff at the time that construction, that's all.
Okay.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? Just a typo on my part, sorry, Liz. Both special permits to lot coverage are both 65.7.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So do we need to close the public hearing?
Well,
You do.
one more, I think, in your March 30 letter, Larry, 5A area of the site, and
What number was it?
5A.
5A?
Per town council's recommendation to the planning board, the requirement of filing and recording of an ANR, which aligns with the lot lines on the approved site plan, should be a condition of any future site plan approval. So that would be included?
That's, actually, Attorney Riley did include that in his condition, so I guess when we get to the conditions, the things you can think about are that A&R plan that would need to be filed, the clapboard versus brick, verify the tanks removed, and if you choose to have somebody go.
Attorney Riley doesn't include me in his correspondence, so I
At the same
can't
time, right? If
speak to
somebody
that.
went out, they could witness the tanks removed okay and the soils are okay?
Yeah, I mean, if I go out when they're doing the drainage, I'd be verifying that they actually took those tanks out properly too.
Okay.
It's something that the Board of Health really should have already done. When they connected to sewer, they should have been dismantling those other tanks, and they should have been filled in accordance with Title V, which requires them to be filled so that there's not a safety hazard, that they need to be filled or collapsed in place in order to make sure that there isn't a void space there. Somebody takes off a cover, you got a void space, you can have a very bad problem.
So are you thinking or saying that that didn't happen?
Well, I'm suggesting that it probably hasn't happened. If those tanks are sitting there the way they were before, then that means that there's a void space underneath those covers, and it's not in use, and it really should have been already closed out by Board of Health.
Right.
And I can check that as well.
Yeah, we're going to remove those for the
Okay.
same reasons.
I'm going to allow one more public comment to move this along.
Sorry, guys, I was just a little confused about the 5 special permits. There was nowhere on the map that showed Lot 1 with the 65% coverage. I didn't get that. There's no plan for it?
So you're right now there's one lot, it's 200 Whale Street. What the proposed plan is to split it into the 3 lots, Lot 1, Lot 2, and Lot 3.
So all 3 lots are gonna be over the
No.
60% threshold?
Nope, just Lot 1, the existing factory is already over the,
And Lot
And
3
Lot-
is good,
and Lot 3, which is the 8-unit dwelling.
and Lot 2 is,
Is fine, it doesn't,
3% or something.
that just needs a special permit for non-residential
I think
use.
that, I mean, that's a lot of water flowing.
But it's
so-
flowing back down towards the factory, I think.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know, I'm not speaking for the drainage experts.
No, but again, Mr. McKenna brought it up, it's a legitimate concern, and water always is a concern, and that's why we spend a lot of time on drainage, and that's why at the beginning of tonight's hearing, I wanted to go over that even though we haven't met since December, there's been a lot of work back and forth tweaking it to make sure that the drainage will work. And it goes unwritten, I should say this, and I know Sean, whatever your last name is, Hardy. I just saw Mr. Grady.
Well, we're all close friends now because we've been here so many times.
Even if there were no neighbor water issues, and even if there was no septic tanks, and everyone approved the drainage because of the soil tests,
If a contractor goes out and starts digging and finds something that they don't expect, whether it's an underground tank or just different soils, stop, they may have to redesign the drainage, and if that's the case, we'd have to come back to you. That's unwritten. We don't anticipate that at all. But rest assured, Steve is paying him to design something that will not cause flooding, not only on your property, but will not cause flooding on his property. And we're required to demonstrate that, or we can't get by this board.
And that's where we rely upon our engineer. And so if the applicant is coming in with a plan that doesn't look right, doesn't make sense, the numbers don't add up, then Larry's the one who's going to pick up on that and bring that back to us and say, it needs to be fixed. And that's what happened with this plan. There were a number of things that needed to be tweaked and fixed.
Right.
And there's been a good deal of cooperation in getting those things fixed, because we share the concern. We don't want to see something go in that's going to contribute to your problems.
And that's the whole purpose of the public hearing, is so that you can give us feedback, they give us feedback, he gives us feedback. And the 60% threshold, I don't want to say it's surpassed often, but it's not infrequent. But if you trigger the 60%, then you're required to get the special permit. And typically, the threshold to do that is to prove that you have drainage that will not cause flooding, and that you're controlling all of your water. And in most cases, and I hope tonight's case also, if you can demonstrate that, then the special permit is approved, so long as you build according to your plan. And I would hope the board would approve the 65% lot coverage.
Two quick questions. What is the elevation of Jefferson Street?
Approximately 137.
137. And what's the elevation of your parking lot?
About 139 and a half at its closest.
139? All right. So is there a concern that the water would go that way towards the street?
No, because our parking lot is surrounded, I can go to the drainage plan.
It's only a small buffer and everything's going the other way.
All of the pavement flows away from Jefferson Street.
Well, I guess that's my concern is right now is that the water currently in its natural state is flowing away from those houses.
Right,
And
so
now all of a sudden we're saying, well, maybe we
our
won't.
driveway, we're grading approximately 139 and a half at the corners here, but we have curbing around, so the impervious area, then it comes down here, and it's being collected at a trench drain that crosses the entire path of the driveway, and that trench drain comes back. There's 25 Cultec chambers that we're proposing, so all of that runoff that hits that pavement is collected, and we purposely didn't use catch basins, because sometimes it can get by. We have a trench drain across the entire width of the driveway, and that pipes that back to the infiltration.
Let me ask, I'm sorry, different question then. What is the current elevation of where the parking lot would be?
It's 137.
It's roughly 137.
All right, so are we erecting a artificial berm that's going to result in pooling on the street side of that?
No.
His concern is that
So
that little strip, is that strip still going to be able to relieve itself coming towards Lot 1?
Yeah, we're not proposing grading down here, and the street, it's slight, but it slopes and comes this way and around. So there's a 137.7, there's a 137.5,
Okay,
there's a
so
137.4.
the water sheets down Jefferson towards the railroad tracks?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and it will continue to do so?
Correct.
It doesn't relieve itself through the current property?
No.
Okay.
And I would also add, just quickly, and for the neighbors' knowledge, the property line that we show and the 10-foot distance between the property and the lot line, there's more greenery beyond the lot line before you hit street pavement. In fact, all of those street trees we talked about are off of our property. They're along the street. So there's not just 10 feet of greenery. There's probably 20 to 25 of.
Yeah, there's at least another 10 that's within the right-of-way that's not paved as well.
Right.
All right. Like I said, I just want to make sure we're not creating a problem. And if Larry agrees, then I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
The second one, the final elevations, can you just show me the final elevation, what we came up with Do you have it on the big one?
You mean like
The building?
architectural?
Yeah, the architectural. Sorry.
I do not have.
Only when I handed out to you?
You had some more to this.
I have one, but it's not the greatest quality, just,
Oh, you have one there? You have the brick one?
Hold on. I think I have a large one.
Okay.
I think.
Did I give you the, maybe I didn't give you these. Sorry? I guess I didn't. Sorry, I thought I had given you these.
I have one, but it was reduced like that.
Page 1 and 2 show the clapboard, page 3 and 4 show the brick. It's the same building, slightly different change architecturally. It's
Thank
noticeable
you.
brick. As far as the detail shown.
Thank you, Mr. Riley.
I wanted to make sure that the windows weren't going to be in that kind of hip roof line. Like we have Dunbar Street, the one at the corner of Adams and I think Wales, right, that third story unit, it's kind of in the roof line almost.
Adams and Wales. All right, I'm trying to think. Adams and Wales. Okay.
Is it the brick building on the
No,
corner?
I don't know if it's brick, but,
You mean the apartment building, the OVFW?
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On,
yeah.
That's a mansard, I think that's a mansard.
Yeah, the mansard, that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, it's not.
That's why I wanted to make sure it wasn't that.
Nothing in that,
Okay,
you'll see that.
all right, thank you.
dating myself.
I knew what you were talking about.
Anybody remember?
Well, I just found out there's a Dairy Queen on Route 18, and corner of Route 18 and 123. I never knew Dairy Queen was originally there.
Got a drive-through too, it's 1 more hour for close.
Well, the Polish club is now a church.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was there some final spot for you on this?
Rick, are you happy?
Yeah,
Okay.
he has to
Bob,
make,
you happy?
Can we make that a
Yep.
condition on the site?
All set.
So it was in
Okay.
the letter, right?
All right,
Which one is
No,
lot
this
one?
is, okay.
all right. My board is happy right now. So I'm going to close the public,
So
Comment.
motion to close the public hearing?
motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
motion made, seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
And now, at the request of Board Member Mr. Collins, we are going to take each one of these items one at a time.
Just to clarify, which one is lot 1, lot 2, and lot 3?
Lot 1 is the factory.
Okay,
Lot 2 is the 2 units.
lot 3, okay. Perfect, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Shea. Start with the
Mr.
first.
Chairman, before we move on, if we could just clarify what could potentially be a condition,
it's on lot 3.
lot
When we get
3?
the lot 3 out,
Okay,
I'll tell you what it is.
all right.
Okay.
So lot 1, which is a factory, they're looking for a special permit for lot coverage.
So moved?
Second,
Second.
motion made and seconded for the first item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second item, please.
Second item is lot 2, which is the 2-unit dwelling, and they are looking for a special permit for 100% residential use.
So moved?
Second,
Second.
motion made, approved, and motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Third item, please.
All right, lot 3. So the first one is a special permit for 100% residential use.
So moved?
Second,
Second.
motion made, and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Second is a special permit for lot coverage over 60%.
Say that one again, Liz?
They need a special permit for lot coverage exceeding 60%.
On
They're-
lot 3?
On what?
On lot 3, which is the 8-unit
Three.
dwelling.
Yeah.
The proposed lot 3.
Yes.
The 8-unit. Yeah, okay.
Yep, the 8-unit one.
Someone want to make that motion?
So moved.
Motion made, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Oh, okay, one no. One, what else we got?
Then
Then it doesn't pass.
procedurally,
Oh, wait. That's what I was asking, if it was a majority vote or if it was a supermajority vote.
Supermajority.
Supermajority. So I'd ask the board to reconsider if that's appropriate. Is the theory. For your site plan approval, it has to be a majority vote. Usually there's 5 of you here, we're missing one gentleman. Majority vote, 3. With a special permit, it has to be 4 out of 5. Since there's only 4 of you here, it has to be the 4 of you approving. So although I recognize Mr. Collins's statement, I would ask that the board reconsider, because if you don't approve that special permit, then you can't approve the site plan.
Well,
We start all over again.
Oh, boy.
He's just a trouble.
Dairy Queen closes in 55 minutes.
I'll move to reconsider.
Yes. Yeah. Motion made to reconsider, second?
You didn't
made-
actually take the vote.
Yeah, you do.
We did.
Yeah, we
Did-
did.
It's 3-1.
We did.
Sorry.
So the motion's been made to reconsider, seconded. All those in favor of reconsidering? Aye. Okay, now,
Hold on, I got to get that down.
where's Kevin?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, you need a motion and a vote on a special permit for lot coverage exceeding 60%.
For lot 3.
Lot 3.
For lot 3.
for lot 3.
For lot 3, sorry, the 8-unit dwelling lot.
Yep.
The proposed lot 3.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
I really don't like it.
How are we voting?
Unanimous with reservations?
Okay, noted.
Okay.
I'll buy you something at Dairy Queen.
Moving on.
Okay, now it's the site
I know.
plan approval or disapproval you're looking for. And conditions would be that an A&R plan which aligns the lot lines with the approved site plan shall be filed and recorded at the Registry of Deeds, AKA creating lots 2 and 3. The exterior of the 8-unit dwelling shall be clapboard or brick. You guys need to decide that, or give your opinions. And then verify the tanks that are underground are removed, and verify the installation of the drainage system. And then spot grades.
Okay, so now there's, so the condition, the photometric plan as presented tonight will be made part of the record, right?
Yep.
Okay, so there are, because the test logs, the question I had about the test logs, that the test logs will be adjusted on the final set of plans, and that there are minor adjustments to the grading of the parking area on Lot 3 over the drainage will be done. And that includes changing the finished floor elevation from 139 to 140 in order to make that all work properly.
And to be, can I say, and to be approved by the town's engineer prior to the building permit?
Be verifying that it was adjusted the way we said.
Is everyone clear on that? I don't want to make him go over that again.
Liz, can we just clarify, in the language that goes as part of this permit, does it say that it needs to be built as presented in this meeting in terms of elevations and everything else? They can't just decide, you know what, we're gonna do it at 141, or we're gonna do it at 135, or,
No, we can add that.
okay.
Well, actually, no, I think we,
As per the plan.
I do put in the decision letter, the date of the plans that get approved.
Okay.
So, yes. I changed my mind, I do put that in there.
Can I just ask, 2 of the, one was verifying the tank removal, one was verifying the drainage, I think you said? I
The
didn't know.
drainage installation, like he'll go out and just look to make sure the drainage gets installed.
And those may be at the same time.
So you want a view, okay.
Yeah. We used to do that a
Yeah.
long time ago.
We got away from it, but.
We did
yeah.
get away from it.
In this case,
We're
I'd rather.
moving it back in,
I'm
yeah.
fine, so the neighbors know that this is something.
Especially, yeah,
Right.
just make sure that there isn't something
Okay.
that I need to see that relates across the street.
Okay.
And then like I said, this other item, on this site plan for the Lot 3, there will be slight different grades. I don't know, you want that be a condition that they file that for the record at that point?
Yeah, so normally what we do is we will get a completed plan which will include all of this stuff, all these conditions. They send it back, and then I send it to you to approve.
Okay,
And they can't move forward on the building permit process
until they got that.
until you approve it.
There has been instances of developers taking the elevations as suggestions and not requirements.
Gotcha.
And it's resulted in problems.
I hate
We
when you
need
do
to
that.
specify that in the decision.
Right.
None of yours, but.
No, and just for the general public, when we're completed with our work, he's required to file an as-built plan to show that we built everything with the right grades and everything like that, and that gets submitted at the end of the project and has to be reviewed and approved before they'll release their bond money back to us.
As far as the clapboard issue, I prefer clapboard. I don't know what
You
you
don't have
guys.
to put a condition if you don't want to, but if you want to choose one, go ahead.
I'm not, I have no.
Yep.
I would prefer to stay residential looking also.
All right, so clapboard,
Yep.
Okay, so we worked this all out. Motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion made to approve and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, what else?
that is it. Thank you.
I didn't understand when I gotta report this back to the boss, but will that be posted? How would we get this?
Oh, a copy of the decision letter? Oh, you gotta come up to the, back up to the microphone.
And it's going to be on TV, too. They can watch it all over and see
Yeah,
how
yeah,
long
yeah.
it is.
This is for you, Mr. McKenna. No, just on the fifth one, I kind of lost everything that was going
That's
on
okay,
there, so.
so I need to do those special permit letters first, because I am under statutory deadline for those, so those will get done first, and then the decision letter for the site plan, which includes that last,
Okay.
will get finished.
Town clerk, right, yeah.
So I file them with the town clerk, but if you want to just shoot me an email, Liz Shame on the town's website,
Okay,
in like, let's say, 2 weeks,
okay,
I'll just send you a copy after I file it.
perfect, thanks.
All right.
And this will be on TV within a couple of days. I mean, honestly, if they want to watch it there or on the internet, the letters will take a little more time. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input.
You're good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Larry, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Larry.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good night.
This is a complicated
Thanks.
discussion. Thank you for helping us. I know that you get paid for it, but it's still good.
I still,
I know you get paid for this, but this is
still
good.
Monday night.
People don't
Appreciate it.
realize the work that goes behind the scenes.
All right. See if we can-
See ya. You too. Enjoy your Dairy Queen.
Time to see. We'll wait for Mr. Collins to return.
Get that.
Who's going to Dairy Queen?
If you would like to take up Gordon Circle, because we have people in the room waiting for
Okay,
Gordon
let's do
Circle.
Gordon, let's do Gordon Circle when Mr. Collins returns. Yes. And thank you for waiting patiently for this. Thank you. We really appreciate that. My wife watches these meetings faithfully. 28 years on the board, Kathy's going to watch the meeting. All right, Gordon Circle. All right, what do we need to do with this, Liz?
Okay. So, couple of things. You need to make a recommendation to town meeting on whether
Oh, yes.
to accept the roadway or not. And then the second thing you need to do is take action on releasing the surety that's currently being held.
Okay.
Pick your poison on what you'd like to do first.
Release the surety? Release the surety, guys? Okay. Someone want to make a motion to release the surety?
I'm going to make a motion. The select board gave us the advice that they want us to keep it over the objections of the town attorney in order to send a message. Even though fighting it will likely cost more money than it is to actually keep it. I do not like that we've been put in a position to be the bad guys in this situation at all. I really resent it. As a result, I want to I'm gonna make a motion to take the advice of the select board and not give it back. and the select board can decide whether they want to fight it or not. They're the ones who, don't want to listen to town council, and they're the select board, the town's executive board. If they want to fight this, then I'm more than willing to let them do that. So my motion is to not give it back.
Would someone second that? Okay.
Can we have a discussion about it?
Yes, please.
I understand what Rick is saying. I've got a hard time voting against town council in favor of the selectmen.
Yes.
It's not technically up to the selectmen. I know what they voted. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I've always had a hard time going against town council. That's what we pay them for.
Mr. Shepherd?
So, town council's email to Liz Shea dated January 12th couldn't have been more clear. In my opinion, if the roadway was built as required in 2006, the funds should have been released then. The attached letter references an as-built plan from 2006. If the peer reviewer agrees that the as-built plan was sufficient in 2006, which the engineer did, in my further opinion, the town must return the funds and cannot use the funds for maintenance or repairs to things that have happened over time. I note that the peer review states the road appeared to have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans, but did show aging and in need of maintenance, emphasis added, et cetera. So, I guess I'm coming down on the side of following town council's recommendation. Otherwise, I think we're, selectmen's recommendation aside, we as a board have our own responsibility to do what's appropriate and correct. And I think following town council's recommendation in this case is correct.
And the other part of that, they recommend for acceptance, but they want to keep the bond, which contradicts each other.
Well, and I will also point out that town council recommended not accepting the
Well,
road
yeah,
as well.
we're going to address that afterward. That's next, right?
Yep.
Yep. Right, town council did recommend that. But part of her, we can ask the developer to use funds to repair the roadway and then apply for acceptance.
Well, okay, I'm at a quandary. I can understand Mr. Collins' reasoned opinion, and I also understand Mr. Shepherd's desire to heed the advice of town council. So it seems like we need to resolve this, of the four of us here.
Well, we had a motion made, and it wasn't a second.
Yes, that was Mr. Collins' motion.
Correct.
Yes.
And
Would you care to make a motion?
we've now moved forward to discussion.
Yes.
So just, I guess to be clear procedurally, we had a motion, we didn't get a second,
Motion fails.
the motion then fails, okay. So the alternative motion is to return the funds, consistent with the recommendation of town council's January 12th email to the town planner.
Now, if this motion is seconded, do we need a four-vote approval on this, Liz?
You don't, it's a majority.
Okay. All right. Is it appropriate for me to second the motion?
Not really.
Okay, I can. Bob,
I
would
mean,
you?
you can if we're at a
No,
loss.
okay. Bob, would you second, Mr. Shepherd?
I would second it, and I do understand why the other motion was made.
Yes,
I
me too.
just have a hard time going
Yeah,
against town.
I respect Mr. Collins's thoughts on this, but also respect Mr. Shepherd's thoughts on this. Because that sounds like I'm treading a fine line. All right. Mr. Shepherd's motion has been made, and Mr. Soper has seconded it. All those in favor? of That motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion, Mr. Shepherd's motion has been made and approved. So we're going to follow the dictates of the town council
And return the
and return. the-
surety to Mr. O'Leary.
Okay. Was there anything
Does that
else?
happen immediately, or is there,
I will send him an email tomorrow that you voted to release the surety, and
Okay.
he'll, assume, send it to his bond company,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I'll email, well, maybe not tomorrow, but I'll email you of their vote, and then you can send it to your bond company or bank and let them know. And if they need anything else, they can get back, like sometimes they require a letter.
yeah,
So if that's the case, if they do require a letter that requires the board member's signature, maybe you should vote that somebody can pop in, or we can do it at the next meeting. It's up to you.
well, let's vote that we,
Yeah, it's only been 20 years, I can wait till then.
Okay. So if they do require a letter, a signed letter from the board, they'll do that in May at the next meeting.
yeah, okay.
All right? But I will send you a email within the next couple of days of what their action was.
Okay.
Okay?
thank you for waiting on this.
Well, we still have the other,
Who's-
Not his petition. It's not his petition.
Whether
He
or not
didn't-
to
he didn't-
clarify, please?
He didn't
He
submit
doesn't
the
have any
petition
skin.
for roadway acceptance. One of the
Yes,
neighbors.
yes, I
okay.
understand.
Oh, okay,
I'm just
yeah.
saying that was the other half of
Oh,
this
yeah,
that
yeah,
we have not
absolutely.
yet discussed.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
You're all set. Thank you.
These minutes are going to be fascinating. Still going to make Kevin right?
No, I'll do them.
Okay. So what's next?
They should.
So now you have the roadway acceptance.
Okay, roadway acceptance, gentlemen.
I would recommend we follow town council's recommendation and not accept the roadway.
Anyone second that?
Our recommendation.
Point of clarification on this. What we're doing is we are making a recommendation, but it's the selectmen who will actually make the decision.
That's a town meeting, right?
Town meeting makes
We're
the
making a
decision.
recommendation to town meeting.
We're making a recommendation to town meeting about whether we should or should not. And our
Needs a town meeting vote to accept it.
yeah, our recommendation may or may not be followed.
This is true. But based on all the information town council gave us,
Right.
the roadway isn't
Right.
acceptable by.
It is not, and it's not because of the deterioration over the course of the past 20 years.
Yes, because they failed to file the paperwork 20 years ago.
Yeah,
It has not been maintained.
yep.
And so now it would become the town's liability.
If
$400,000
accepted, it would
liability.
become the town's responsibility to fix things that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't ask the developer to do it, but we all know he's not going to, obviously.
Yeah, and if you go back to,
And there's also an issue of a drainage easement that the owner wasn't
go back to
willing to.
Larry's correspondence or letter of December 29. A few of those things might be easily addressed, but others, not so much.
Yeah. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to, again, Liz?
To recommend to town meeting that you follow town council's recommendation to not accept the roadway
Due to,
due to poor condition.
and lack of easement for the drainage.
Because you got the issue of that drainage thing on the guy's land.
I think what happened when you had the February meeting, that everybody was here, they said they would sign the easement. And I think they actually did sign the waiver.
Yeah,
I don't know that we have any separate easement documents at this point, but they did sign that waiver that Mr. O'Leary's
Yeah.
attorney.
At the end of the day, I think it's important to note that it's been like this for close to 20 years.
it's a long time, yeah.
Whether the roadway is or is not accepted, it just means it's going to be, it's going to stay the way it is right now. So it's not, this isn't a motion that the board is making that says the street isn't going to get plowed, or that services that have been provided by the town in the past will no longer be provided. Everything's going to stay the same. So if this,
Other than-
let's for the sake of argument, continues into the next year to try and figure out how we're going to resolve some of these problems, then
And if you go to the point of the owners could bring the roadway up to acceptable standards and then reapply.
and then reapply. And then we can have this discussion again.
Unfortunately, these people in the subdivisions, it's not spelled out from the beginning. They're technically responsible up until the point the roadway is accepted.
I just wonder how many more subdivisions we have.
So I was gonna ask you if we could have that conversation in June, put that on the June agenda, because May obviously is right before town meeting, and it won't give the board enough time to have any consideration, but
Yeah,
there are several that are popping right into my head, and probably more later, but we did not get a roadway acceptance application for Robert English Lane. So there goes McHugh, and there goes Crabtree Lane Extension. John L. Sullivan Way
Yeah.
has not, they attempted a couple of times, and then they've just never come back. So there are several right off the top of my head that I can think of.
Would the current owners have, be able to take a legal action against the original developer at this point?
I don't think so. I don't know that in anybody's deed. I'm not an attorney, and I don't know how how the land gets conveyed or not conveyed. But positive, Sean, you could back me up, but I'm positive in just a regular land transaction, they're not putting in there.
Before this
That-
goes too much further, did we take a vote?
No.
We've got a motion, we had a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't we
so
close the book on that one?
Motion,
Alright.
yeah, all right, so the motion's been made, seconded, we've had the discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
I don't know if there's a mechanism in the future to make it very clear to people.
I believe the town manager wants to adopt a bylaw, he just didn't have it in time for this year, and he would like to come to you guys and talk about that, and maybe hash out what a time frame would look like in order for them, like, maybe a year from the time they finish the road, 2 years from the time they finish the road, something like that.
I think we need to put a time frame on, I mean, look at some of the subdivisions, that's 20-plus years,
Right.
one in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still holding a cash bond for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to get this taken care of. This.
I don't know what the legal, maybe Amy can help us.
I mean, these people are
that.
paying taxes, and this stuff's been going on a long time, so let's get this,
I understand.
let's get this fixed. Okay,
So, do you want to make that a June agenda item? If I can
Yes.
find my agenda, all right.
Yeah.
And then, so if you want to just hop back quick to
that was yesterday.
items to review with town council,
Okay, yes.
while we're sort of in that zone. I just need to write that note to myself. So, I sent you a very short list of things that I thought maybe we could talk to town council about. One is adding timeframes into the decision letters, both site plan, special permit is governed by state law, but site plan and subdivisions, that we put like they have to act on the plan in 2 years. They can come back and get an extension for 6 months or a year with your permission, and then that's it, and the approval expires. That's how special permits work,
Yep.
sort of. So I wanted to talk and have her come in and maybe give us some decent language for that, to add into those letters, like standard language.
Yep.
And then the stormwater that we've been talking about, that I think I sent everybody John Stone's email about that. That we kind of need to revisit that stormwater bylaw and assess who's responsible for maintaining things at the end of the day, because the bylaw says one thing and we've
Kind
been,
of touched upon that once upon a time, and we were
Yeah.
kind of on the fence.
This would be at the June meeting, Liz?
so that would be good. I mean, I would try to see what kind of time town council had available, whether it was June or July, what would work for her.
No July.
July?
No July.
July?
I'm kidding.
But I didn't know if there was other stuff you guys wanted to talk about while we had her in the room. And maybe we could even meet like a half an hour early, have a workshop or whatever before we started a regular meeting, like however you wanted to do it.
Could we get back to you on this?
Yeah. Yeah, but if I have to send an email to the town manager, so I need to kind of put in there what,
I mean, I'd just love an update on the most relevant court decisions, case law that we should know about in terms of
like land use case law?
land use and special permits and all that fun. There's been a couple interesting things coming through, and I'd just be curious, like, we haven't gotten a legal update in years.
Right.
So I'd be curious as to make sure we're doing this right.
All right.
Do we, and this is off topic a little bit, was it Middleborough went to the SJC on the MBTA zoning? Do we know that? Was there any further,
Which issue on the,
I think it was Middleborough that was fighting it? And
I mean, they've lost all the cases so far. I think the most recent one was whether or not it was a, what's the term I'm thinking of? A unfunded mandate. I think that was the latest one.
yeah,
My guess would be that's their last straw grasp.
Yeah. And they're gonna say, no, it's administrative costs and that doesn't count as a mandate.
Right. All right, so how about till the next meeting? If you guys could get me your ideas about what you want to talk about, and then we'll look at it at the next meeting, and that's what I'll send to the town manager. Meanwhile, I'll reach out to Amy and see what kind of time she has.
okay.
Just
Kinda.
to be clear, we can't confer as a group privately. We have-
Away from the table, you cannot. You have no power away from the table. I heard.
So we can't huddle.
I missed what he said, so.
We're not discussing over email what we're just sending Liz an email saying what we think we should.
And then I'll put a list together, and then you guys can look at it at the meeting in May, and we'll tentatively schedule for July.
I was just reaffirming that to the viewing public. Seeing that we have an attorney present here, I'm sure council would approve that.
Here is moderator. Amy,
Patiently waiting for us to get to the
Change
zoning
that.
changes on
He
you?
left the room and then the moderator walked back in. That's what I saw.
I saw it.
Okay, let's get to,
I
Axel is going to be our attorney during John's.
okay.
I thought he was going to Dairy Queen.
Well, Mr. Collins wants to go there. All right, let's do the zoning changes, please.
Okay.
All right, run out of voice.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Planning Board is holding a public hearing on Monday, April 6, 2026, at a little past 6:30 PM at the Abington Town Hall. The Planning Board is to consider the following amendments to the Town of Abington zoning bylaw, Chapter 175, to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw as follows. Amend Section 175-38C, parens 2, comma, Central Business District, by striking the words below or take any other action relative to thereto. And there's no strike in the words below.
That's it.
All right, so which one is
I
this?
just read it from that, but I have the,
No, you read it from the one that doesn't show
I
strike
read it
throughs.
from the agenda.
Right from the
That
agenda.
shows throw strike throughs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have three, which version am I reading off of?
Hold, please.
Oh, so much paper.
Think I found it.
Okay, so this would strike
Okay, excuse me. Wait.
mixed-use development, section 1, and then after subsection C3 period, it would just strike.
I have,
All of this.
I have C1. I have multiple for C1 and C2. I don't have a C3.
Do you have the, no, if you look at the one that says 17838C2 Central Business District, and then it says C and then 1,
Yep.
at the end of that sentence where it said subsection C3 period, and the next word is strictly, residential units, we're
It's
striking
got
that.
lines through it all?
Yep, that's the strike.
Here we go.
All right.
So that
I
one,
found it.
we get the same one.
Yep. Sorry, so I just read that off of the agenda,
But now we're talking about this.
and now you're talking about the public hearing notice?
Yes.
Which I'm not sure if you have, it might be date stamped in the upper right-hand corner, March 9th. I'm not sure if you got that copy or not, that I had stamped.
All right, I need to figure out and be reminded again why we're making this change, or what's really changing with this.
The ADUs in the central business district.
All right, residential use is part of mixed.
The use chart says no.
All right, so in the central business district,
Yep.
we are now making strictly residential developments an N.
We did that.
Okay,
We did that last year. The language in the bylaw, so when you went to the bylaw, it did not jive with the use chart. We didn't change the language in the
Gotcha.
bylaw last year.
all right,
So that's what we're attempting to do this year. And then we have to go back to the table and see what you guys want to do there.
gotcha. All right, so this is, by deleting that sentence, we're making it jive with the use table that we approved last year.
Yes. But I think Attorney Riley wanted to, I thought that's what we were doing, because we said no.
Are you attorney or moderator?
Yeah,
please,
my-
Mr. West?
He's all of those.
No, I'm asking
He's
as,
all of those and so much more.
I'm asking as moderator, because I don't want to get involved with the debate, so I don't want to recuse myself. But I'm just looking at your agenda, and I want to make sure,
It's wrong.
yeah.
It's wrong.
I know it doesn't have the cross out,
Right, I'm gonna have to redo that
but does,
before we go to the Attorney General.
so in the section that you're dealing with, C, which is uses,
Yep,
C section, subsection 1 just says mixed-use developments in the bylaw. And there should be a number 2 right before the next paragraph, residential uses as part of a mixed-use development. Is there in what you're looking at?
yeah, let me,
Yeah, see, there should be.
so that's what got posted as a hearing notice.
See this?
Oh, yeah, 1 and 2, you're right.
I mean, you identified in your hearing notice that you're changing section
Right.
C2.
Right.
On what you're
Right.
looking at, this is just a typo. But
Yep,
you referred to the right one in the notice. So under section C, subsection 1 just says mixed-use developments, period. Subsection 2 says residential uses as part of blah, 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 blah. So it's just missing the number 2
See
before.
so
that.
put a 2
I
there,
see that.
put a 2 there in front of residential, sorry. Because it's subsection 2,
Okay,
right? So, put a 2 there in front of residential uses.
okay,
Mixed use by itself, and then you,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, I
So
see.
put a 2 there.
I see.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome. And then, I don't recall the history of this, and shame on me, but part of this amendment that you're discussing now also has a change or an update to the use chart, which would delete special permit for multifamilies to a no, which we already have a no for single families and two families in the CBD.
I don't know that the two-family was a no. Is it?
I think it already was. Oh, no, you're right,
That
you're
was a
changing
special
that.
permit. And that was part of the conversation we had earlier?
Well, whether you could have an ADU.
Right, right. And then I went back to town council, who sent an email, which I thought.
So I think what your intent is right, or your question before you is, if you make the deletion that's proposed in the text, and then you change the use chart to get rid of the special permits for two families, attached dwellings, and multifamily, that would effectively remove 100% residential uses from CBD, new ones. You have to go to the zoning board to get a use variance. I believe that's what you,
For single-family and two families.
well, no, if you change.
So the rest of that is what we're gonna have the conversation. I went back to the original changes
Yeah.
and sent those to town council. She sent back her opinion, which they have, because you can always change it back instead of not advertising and then saying no. You know what I mean?
No, but it's okay.
It's easier to take it away than to add it, because we didn't advertise the ad, Right.
What's the ad you're talking about?
that we're saying no to single and two-family in the central business district.
But
We're getting there. We're getting to that use chart. Right now, we're just doing that first one.
okay, I'll listen, and I'm not offering any opinion either way.
Okay. So I think, if I'm correct, and you can please correct me at this point, that the goal of this was to correct, last year, we changed the use chart to say no to a single family. And a two-family or duplex is currently a special permit, and the proposal is to strike that and put a no. But this first part was for the single-family residential use detached dwelling on a separate lot occupied by not more than one family. Because that, we said, we changed that last year to a no, and this change to this section reflects that.
All right, so this use table here is the correct one. This is
Yes,
what was approved last year.
yes,
All right, so all those ends were approved.
yes, unless there's a strike-through somewhere. Yeah, no.
So does
No.
that-
So if it says SP and N underneath, that's up for discussion tonight.
So what did we change it to last year?
See where, at that top row, where it says Central District, no, SCBD, no? We changed that last year to the N.
So we changed the single family.
We did
didn't change.
single-family dwellings, we
Last
changed.
year.
Last year, in the use table, to a no.
Okay, but
When
this.
we did the ADU bylaw, so we wouldn't have a single-family and then an ADU on those smaller lots in the Central Business District.
Okay,
But the
so,
language in the bylaw did not reflect that. It still said you could get a special permit for an all-residential use.
okay.
Well,
So
I'm sorry.
we are, in addition to this striking this section, we are also proposing the change to the use table.
Yep, but one at a time. There's 3 separate changes we're proposing.
Okay.
So this will be an easier sell on town meeting floor, just to say that we're righting a wrong or making a correction.
Right, so this is a housekeeping, this
Yeah.
particular one.
It's a housekeeping.
I think isn't a housekeeping one, but I think there was conversation the last time we talked about this, that Attorney Riley wanted to add, or suggested, didn't want to, suggested that for the board to have some flexibility.
Is this the piece of paper that we have marked Attorney Riley?
Yeah.
You guys have that?
So, that means we're getting rid of any residential in the CBD,
Yes.
if we do that,
No,
which
it's-
we've been, when we
Right.
sold that originally,
Right,
it was a special permit in certain situations to make it all residential. Now, if we go forward with this, we're not gonna be able to do that. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, because,
Uh,
right, and I know, so that's why we need to have a conversation about it. If you want to add back the multifamilies, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, are we on this? We through with that? I know when we originally made this district, that was a big part of it. And we have granted the special permits in situations for all residential uses, which makes sense. I don't want to take that away. I guess is where I'm going with that. And I understand we had originally started this because of the ADU thing.
Right.
But the determination is that ADUs are allowed anywhere we allow single family.
Right.
And two-family, I think.
Yeah, that's where I still don't understand the whole two-family, because
So,
because in two-family, you're allowed to have a single family.
I think it said residential.
so Amy said, I'm not sure what the board needs, but I went back to my previous email and I think I created the confusion. Basically, a protected use ADU is allowed by right in a single-family residential zoning district, which is
Right.
defined as a zoning district where a single-family use is allowed by right or by special permit. The protected use ADU being accessory must be associated with a parental dwelling, which in my opinion can be a single-family dwelling, a two-family dwelling, or a multi-family dwelling.
That's what I don't understand, is how it goes from the single family to also include
So
two-family or
it's
multifamily.
still gonna be in the single-family district, but there could be some grandfathered three-family and four-family, so you can add an ADU to that.
Unless we say no. If we say no, that it's not an allowed use now,
In this
they
district.
can have their three-family, but they can't put an ADU there because it wouldn't be allowed if you say no, it's not allowed.
In this, we're talking about the CBD district,
Yes,
but in general, the state's
Yes.
law is,
yes.
so single-family district, and the CBD isn't a single-family district.
No, it's the zoning district where the single-family use is allowed by right or by special permit.
I guess
So
that's my question, is in a district where you have a multi-unit dwelling, by special permit, do they count that as, you can also have a single family by special permit? Because we split them up very separately. So are they saying, is the definition of multi-unit dwelling anything up to multiple units?
No, I thought it was specifically allowed in a single-family
Yeah,
residential
I
district.
still didn't, I read that twice, actually 3 times, I still didn't understand how we go from a single-family district where you're also allowed to have a
You
two-family.
You can't, but back before zoning,
Yeah.
someone could have put a three-family in a single residential district, and now that is part of, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here.
Mr. Riley.
I'm trying to read town council's email from March 4th. Actually, Liz had
Yeah.
forwarded it. Because I share the confusion. And
No, I read
to summarize, it says, the board asked me to, Liz says, the board asked me to confirm with you that an ADU is allowed by right if it is a single family and a two-family use. She said yes, provided that a single-family dwelling or a two-family dwelling is in a zoning district that allows single-family dwellings by right or special permit. And then Liz said, the board thought it was a single-family use only and the ADU was allowed by right. She said, no, town council. An ADU is allowed by right in any zoning district that allows single-family dwellings by right or by special permit. For example, a pre-existing non-conforming single-family house in the industrial district cannot have an ADU as of right because the single-family dwellings are not allowed in that district. Later, she says, the CBD and TOD districts currently do not allow single-family dwellings at all, and therefore they are not considered a single-family residential zoning district, and ADUs are not allowed by right. And then, the allowance of an ADU by right is not necessarily associated with the existing dwelling type. It all has to do with what the zoning district allows. If the zoning district allows a single-family dwelling by right or special permit, an ADU is allowed by right. So I read that to say, if CBD and TOD do not allow single families, then it's not a single-family zoning district.
Right.
And nobody can have an ADU
In that district. yeah.
in that district.
Yep.
I think that's what she's saying, yes.
Right? So I guess the question is, so do you need to amend anything?
I don't think we do, because it's already a no for the single families.
And so theoretically now, let's say I'm in the CBD district and I have an existing three-family, and I want to put an ADU in the CBD district, the answer is no, because it's not allowed. It's a single-family
Right.
zoning district.
It's not allowed in that district.
Right.
Single families.
But yet, if I want to propose new construction, 100% residential use in the CBD, I know by the use chart I can't put a single-family house in, but I could come to you and say, I'd like to put a 3-family or a 6-family or an 8-family, but I need a special permit from you, which you may or may not grant.
Which has kind of been all along, since we
Right.
created this district.
But to Liz's point, last year, we specifically, quote-unquote, outlawed single families in order to not allow ADUs in the central business
Right.
district, because it's a business
Right.
district. And I think the same argument
And it
applies to the
protects us.
TOD.
Protect us against the ADUs, because it's not a single family.
Right, so as it is right now, the only districts that allow single-family dwellings are R20s, R30s, R40s, and the transitional commercial zone, which you know is a very small one. So those would be, as I understand it, I'm not town council, those are the only districts considered to be single-family zoning districts, and therefore those are the only districts that can have ADUs as of right.
That's how I understand it also.
So I'll leave it to you guys to decide what you want to do with the two warrant articles.
But to repeat what you said earlier, that based upon the conversation we just had, it sounds like there's no action required. We're already where we want to be.
We need to delete that sentence, but we don't change anything to the use table.
Well, if you delete the sentence that says strictly residential units as a standalone residential use can be allowed by special permit, then you're not allowing any 100% residential uses in the CBD district at all. Even though the use chart
Gotcha.
says
Okay, all right, yep, yep.
special permit.
And again, there was suggested language that says strictly residential multifamily dwellings on lots of standalone residential uses. So if you wanted to do that and completely eliminate any argument about a standalone single, I get what you're saying, that they would have to.
I didn't remember the previous thing. What did we say? Insert the word multifamily?
Multifamily dwellings.
So it would be strictly
Yeah,
residential.
take out the striking, and then it would say strictly residential multifamily dwellings on lots of standalone residential uses in the central business district may be permitted by special permit, blah, 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 blah.
And that's the way it's been, right?
That's how you've been doing it, but
Yeah.
that's not what it says, so we can
Okay.
just add those words and retract the striking.
Yeah.
Technically, under the current wording, I could ask for a duplex for the special permit. But what Liz just said, you would change it to say, oh no, only multifamily or above, which is 3 units or more.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it becomes very specific.
Thank you. Yeah. Drawn.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah,
I was, yep, I get it.
yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
The other, I just want to mention this, I just thought of it. If you leave the use chart with the special permits for duplexes or multifamily, and if you deleted your special permit language from the CBD wording, saying that the planning board can issue a special permit, if the special permit's still in that use chart, I can go to the zoning board now, or I have to go to the zoning board for a special permit for that use.
For the two-family,
For the
right?
two.
Or the multifamily if you
Yes, so
if you
these are-
deleted
yeah,
the text.
These are just the suggestions, and they
Yep.
can go back.
Yes.
These are just the proposals, so, and we can go back and retract all of those out, except I didn't know what you wanted to do about the two families.
I was gonna say, I don't have a problem with the two families, it's the single families we were trying to get rid of, so we didn't end up with an ADU.
Right. which we did.
And it would be a special permit, so tell me why you need the two.
To say, well, because I think
I mean,
the
this-
conversation was, is a two-family considered, I hate to even go down the rabbit hole,
Yeah, it's not,
because we've already,
it's not
single-family district. So you want to leave, so wait a minute, can we do that all at one shot?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then the second one was, the mixed-use developments in accordance, see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw, amend 17537C1 Transit-Oriented Development District by striking the words below, and it is except by special permit from the planning board, and its residential uses are allowed within the district only as part of a larger mixed-use development and not as a standalone principal use. Period. And the words we're striking is except by special permit from the planning board. Again, you could insert a mixed-use development and not as a standalone multi-unit dwelling. So we'll strike principal use and add multi-unit dwelling, except by special permit from the planning board. So again, you're adding in the multi-unit dwelling.
So it sounds to me, to simplify it, that you guys are trying to make a decision whether whether you want to be able to allow two families with a special permit or prohibit them, and just allow multifamilies with a special permit. If you're okay with two families, I don't think you have to change anything, you can pass over these articles. That's the way I read it. But if you'd like to fine tune it and say special permits for multifamily, you would change the wording
Use this.
of the text, and you would have to then go in and change the use chart to change two families from special permits to no's.
And I think why the original for the two families, we were afraid they were gonna end up with an ADU, which I don't think they can, according to what Amy said. It's only in a single-family zoning district.
And again, I'm not lobbying for either way, I am just trying to understand
We get-
your thought process when it comes to town meeting, I
We
can
have
help
to.
explain it.
We had to.
Well, it's a good discussion tonight, because we have to think this out, we have to make a decision, so.
So, and I think the intent was, we thought maybe they'd be sticking ADUs with the two-family, because we were looking at it, and according to what Amy said, it's just in the single-family, that it's not allowed,
Yeah,
just a single-family.
the idea is that we had that, for instance, that single family in the TOD district a bunch of years ago that we approved. And under the current rule, because we allow that by special permit, that they could also put an ADU in the backyard. I think what we're trying to say is we don't want that.
Right.
So we're just gonna remove the ability to do single family at all in TODs, and it's strictly multifamily.
Yeah, I think that
Except
was,
you have that sneaky two-family thing, so that's the only other thing you guys need to decide, because multi-unit is three or more.
Yeah.
no. I always thought that was the original intent of the Todd, was to have multiple
Yeah.
family units in that district.
Well, it's
Because,
to have the flexibility, it's just
Yeah,
when the
yeah.
ADU came crashing down.
yeah. But I mean, you know, that's what it's supposed to encourage, because, yeah. And
Okay.
Todd,
Technical
and
question?
the Todd has gone a long time in this town, too, so.
Can they remove a warrant article before the warrant is posted?
The warrant has not been posted,
No, it hasn't. Not as far as I know. I mean, it might have been posted today.
and it needs to be updated and corrected, we were
Right.
talking earlier, so if you were to tell them, can you pull it off the warrant, I think the selectmen can vote to do that.
Okay.
I don't see why they wouldn't do that if that's what you guys want to. But you can also update the wording. Well, this is your public hearing, right?
Right.
So that's the whole purpose of, the results of this public hearing will dictate how
What
the
goes
warrant
in the
article will read, or whether you say it's not necessary. Worst case scenario, if they say we can't take it out, then your motion will be to
Pass
pass
over.
over.
Okay. Thank you.
It's good we have that option.
Procedural scrambling.
Yeah, I understand.
So I know the select board is meeting tomorrow,
Yeah,
10 a.m.
Still. to be changed, so.
And it's too late to put this on their agenda because that was posted last week. And it's my understanding they're not meeting again. That's my understanding.
So I just think we should go with the Passover.
Passover.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys had agreed to that?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just pass over that. And then, no changes to the table use. I put everything back to special permit. Okay.
If you can pull it,
Yeah.
Yes.
we'll have a motion to pull it if we can, and if not.
Yeah.
If we can, we'll do the Passover deal. This is very complicated.
It's what?
It's very complicated.
Oh, well, I think Amy made it very clear with her last.
Yeah.
There was some confusion, obviously, and we were
The
trying
articles were right
to,
though.
we were trying to,
I say it'll be interesting to see how this plays out on town
The
meeting
articles
floor.
that I
as far as-
sent you.
usually they go along with
Oh, I understand.
our
Yeah.
recommendations.
I know in the draft warrant, I know they're not correct, so we'll go over them. Yes,
I don't know how that happens.
this is the strikeout line. I know what you want, but I
Yep.
don't touch it without talking.
Yeah, no. Okay. All right, so,
What else we got?
We're in.
let's see, so I think, what is that? I think, what you've come to is, on that first article, which is 17538C2, it will read, instead of the striking, it will read strictly residential multifamily dwellings on lots as standalone residential uses in the central business district may be permitted by special permit from the planning board where such uses are appropriate and where the minimum lot size is at least 5,000 square feet and meets the provisions of subsection C3A, C3B, C3D, and C3F. And the only word that will be struck is units. And then the second article, which is 17537C1, which is the use table. There are no changes, and I'm going to ask to see if that can be removed. And if it can't be removed, then the board's recommendation at town meeting will be to pass over. And then on the table of use itself, no changes will be made, and again, I'll ask if that article can be removed, and if it can't be removed, it will be a recommendation to pass over at town meeting. Any other suggestions?
I just want to make sure what I just heard. You want to change central business to make it clearly say that you would allow multifamily by special permit. But then I think you need to change the use chart to change duplex to a no.
I think we intended on keeping the duplex.
Like I said, if you make no.
Right, if you're saying multifamily, it's 3 and above, so,
If you make no changes, you're allowing two families and multifamilies by special permit. If you want to limit it to multifamily, you got to change the text and then make duplexes a no.
So leave the text alone. And if we, I don't have a problem with the two families. It's the single families. So it's really not making any changes.
you're making no changes.
Yeah.
It's up to.
And I get, because we're trying to protect ourselves against the ADU in that district, and we don't need to apparently.
Okay.
Fine. So everyone's okay with the two families?
Yep.
Okay. So you have your direction there.
So, no changes to any bylaws, and if we can't get them pulled, it's pass over.
Yep.
Yes.
So can we move that right up in the warrant, like before the budget?
Best thing is we can get it pulled from the warrant.
Well, believe me, I am gonna work on that tomorrow, but
Okay.
should I not be able to do that?
Right now, to your point, they're towards the end of the meeting.
It's a,
No, not at the very end, but towards the end.
I think it's pretty easy, just if we had to explain ourselves on town meeting floor, it's we were trying to protect ourselves against the
Right.
ADU.
Right.
Town council explained to us that we
Explain to
didn't
us that we
need
didn't,
to.
but it was,
Right?
the horse was out of the
You-
barn by the time we got
I
ready.
know, yep,
Right.
yep,
Okay.
yes,
You have to
yes.
go through the exercise and have the public
Right.
hearing.
But as moderator, you could take these early.
You're getting your directives from the town.
I'm just making suggestions.
All right, what else?
All right, so do you want to just take that vote that the motion is to try to remove the articles from the warrant?
Or to pass over?
And if that's not possible, all three are pass over.
Will someone make that motion?
Make that motion.
Bob's made that motion. Want to make that motion? Second?
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
All right, so I think that was it.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys can send
night.
me your stuff, thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. Riley.
If you can send me your thoughts on what you want to chat about town council with, or get them to me by then.
So right now was, that we discussed was trying to figure out something on a time frame,
But
On the-
adding timeframes to the
subdivisions. and then
subdivision and
something-
site plan,
Something for the drainage.
stormwater,
Stormwater.
and update on legal cases for land use.
Yeah,
Oh, please.
we've been kind of kicking that one,
This thing.
the stormwater thing. And it, I don't know. Hopefully she can help us.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, have we reached that point where we can ask for a motion to adjourn?
That would be lovely.
Someone
I'll
want to
make
make a
that
motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this tonight.